Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Very good morning. Jesus' buttons were pressed there. Alison Johnson, you mad person. 10 gifted tier 1 subs. Before we even start, the woman is mad. Mad, I tell you. But you're all very welcome in. Today we're starting a new pilot training series all about trying to learn the Lockheed L-1011 TriStar. This one from iniBuilds. We had a quick look at it last night on the news, and it's just a machine I want to learn. Because it's friggin' cool. Savage history, amazing technology, the systems, the engines, everything about this plane. It's like, I would like to know more. So that's what we're going to do. So, hope you're all keeping terribly well. Broadcasting live from a 14 degrees Tipperary. 14 degrees. And yes, so far so good. I haven't broken anything this morning. Everything's working as expected. There's an ambush coming, right, you know. Jesus, I have to move this. But anyway, this aircraft, as I said, lots of history behind it. A wide-body tri-jet aircraft, and one that, well, Lockheed had made aircraft prior to this. They started work on this right after the Blackbird, so there was all sorts of cool technology available to them. However, it wasn't the roaring success, in particular when it came to the engines. The Rolls-Royce engines on this aircraft almost bankrupt Rolls-Royce and the TriStar, the whole shagging thing. iniBuilds did a great kind of preview introduction to this aircraft, so learning the history was quite fun. We also have other information then as well. Naughty Gnome sent us over a POH and have a whole load of other information, including the manual that comes with the aircraft as well. So it's very much, we're going to learn this kind of step by step over the coming weeks. You know, you always want to jump in a plane and let it rip and see what happens, but there's a lot going on here, so it kind of demands some attention. Yes, that's what we'll do. So we're going to do a bit of learning. Then we're going to be having a look at Rolls-Royce did go bankrupt and got bailed out by the UK government. See, there's history here, lads, I'm telling you. We're also going to be having a look at tonight's upcoming VATSIM flight. We're going to be flying out of Frankfurt in Germany, which just got an update, I believe, Terminal 3. And we're going to head over to Madrid in Spain. So slightly longer block time, just over the 2-hour 15 mark. So we're going to fly the A320 on that flight tonight. And then I think next week we might change it up. We might jump over to a Boeing. And then as the weeks continue, we'll have to take this for a spin on VATSIM as well. So it's all very exciting, you see. Loads happening. Plus, we also have our upcoming Bremen flight. That's happening this Sunday. I still haven't figured out an aircraft. I might use multiple aircraft for it. So, more thinking required, you know. I also, a massive upgrade to the man cave, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. Get out, you devil. Now I want you to have a look and listen, right? Microphone arm, watch. Right, I put the out, not a squeak out of it. It was particularly bad this morning. I said, right, I'll fix it. Right, bit of WD-40. So I fixed it, and we now have the moving arm look. Doesn't make a sound at all. Yeah. They did brilliant. So that's what I did this morning. Didn't spill that anywhere either. It was brilliant. So, fantastic, right? I have to be careful now because it's very, you know, maneuverable and right. So I can bash myself. So I must be careful. Caution. Yes. We will exercise caution as we do the thing with the yoke. But anyway, who's here this morning? Spitfire RAF 100, a very good morning to you, buddy. Hope you're well. Cribinator's in the house. Good to see you. Eamon, 1973, has rambled in. Top of the morning, Eamon. Toombs is here. Good to see you, bud. Happy Thursday. Cribinator says, just hopped out of the A320. You did an 8-hour flight. Dude, that's awesome. Linny Bobbins, tis herself. A very happy Thursday to you, Linny. Cyrus T, the man of teal, has rambled aboard. Good to see you, Cyrus. Kelly Price is here. Good morning. Muse fan, I'm at work, so I can't watch, but I'm just checking in for the watch streak. Man Muse, that's how it's done. Determination, yes. Crafty Tigers, good morning. The Limbics, Kiara. Hope all is well, buddy, and a very happy evening to you. Home Wreckers in the house. Hello to County Cork. Commander Balosh is here. Welcome aboard. Sir Campsalot, my dude from Angoshlan Nua. Top of the morning to you, bud. Filthy is here. Hope you're well. Alison Johnson, the lovely Alison, has rambled in. Good morning, Murph and chat. Short visit as I have a pesky work call in 28 minutes. Be the Janie. One Foxy Bingo Gav is here. Good morning, Gav. Sumner is in the house. Sumner, you're up before your breakfast. Top of the morning to you, man. 98 Vulcan Falcon, hope all is well. Good to see you, bud. The Boise is here. Then Ali dropped 10 gifted tier 1 subs. You're very kind. Ah, me too. Did you hear it? Ah, shit. There's a bin beneath my desk. Ah, shit. Right. But I caught me big toe and not so big toe between the lift flap button. Get in there and stop moving. Right, we'll be all right now. Ali, thank you very much indeed. Oh, Jesus, there's more of it. Thank you very, very much indeed for the 10 gifted tier 1 subs. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Ali, do be sure to say thank you. Insane generosity. Manx is here, good to see you, buddy. Falconer's in the house. Greetings from Stockholm, Murph. I have a few days off, so I took the opportunity to ramble in for some daytime TTM. You're very welcome. There will be coffee at 11 o'clock. Wait, it's after. You missed coffee. But sure, listen. Speaking of coffee, so we were down in Harvey Norman's the other day. Now, there's a kitchen upgrade coming now. You'd be delighted to hear. It's not coming yet. It's on the list. But anyway, myself and the missus, we've been looking at a new kitchen table. Don't you know? You needed like a commanding table. You know, that's where business is done. That's where you control your universe, at the kitchen table. So, yes, we've been eyeballing this kitchen table for well over a year now. We'll buy it eventually. We just wait, you know. But on top of the table, there's other paraphernalia that we've been looking at. And one of them is a Ninja. It's a Ninja coffee machine. Ooh. And also a Ninja air fryer. Ooh. And also a Ninja blender thingy-majig. 4 items to upgrade the kitchen. Don't know when we're going to do it now. Save up the few pence and whatever. But at some stage, we'll have a new kitchen and some new paraphernalia for said kitchen. It's all terribly exciting. I'll have to get a new bin as well. And what else? Then I started looking at e-bikes, you know, for Egypts. And they're terribly expensive. I have a normal bike and I have an exercise bike. The dust on them now, as you could have imagined, you know. But I was thinking, well, if I get myself an e-bike, you know, gives you the helping hand when you're shagged. Come on now, Betsy. Right. So I was thinking about getting one of those, but they're also very expensive. But loads of shouldn't we? So, well, anyway, the order of March will be the kitchen stuff and then, you know, maybe the bike then later. We'll have to see. Plus, we have travel coming up again. We have FS Expo in June. So the rest of April and all of May, I'm not going anywhere. Not spending a Rex. Nothing. Right? Living on cornflakes and Weetabix. That's it. Because then June we're away, and then we've other stuff planning for the rest of the year. Riyadh probably out of the won't be able to make Riyadh, but we do want to ramble over to the UK for a community meetup. We're thinking Manchester and possibly August. I'm just trying to get some dates aligned. So we'll see how that one goes. But anyway, Sean Carney, good morning. Uniform Goose, good day, Goose. Hope you're well, buddy. Off to Stockholm for work again next month, says Ali. Oh, where are you? Be the Janie. Ali, you still do a lot of travel. Malky is here, good morning. Bossman Gaming is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Just Roy, a very good morning to you. Hope all is well. Roy, how's the desk? Stu QPR, good to see you. Flight level 380. A very good day to you, sir. Hope you're having a great flight. Let me see. Malky, thank you for 70 in a row. The Impossible Face is here. You managed that without going to the doctor, says Home Wrecker. Right? Brilliant. But wait now. But how will we know when you change camera? Oh, yeah, don't worry. I'll come up with like a voiceover for that. You know, speaking of cameras, I've been having issues with cameras as well. I've moved things around and brought lights up. I was kind of looking at going, where's me quality gone? I know it's hard work with this. All over that, but you know, anyway, never a dull moment. I mind that Linny says, I remember that me day sage I bet because they charge much for their cars. Wait, what? Murph, watch that you don't swing that into your head. Could see it happening. Your mic squeak, yeah, it's gone now, Linny. I'm very happy about it. Bang, bang, and the squeak is gone. Wait, what? Jan Drace is here. Good to see you. 53 months, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed. And I hope you're well. He'll be bashing his bits off it now. Right. Vulcan says, I've been reading the 2 original L-1011 manuals I've found online. One is about 384 pages, the other about 600 pages. Very interesting indeed. We're going to check it out. DeBlaze, thank you very much. Tier 2 for 30 months. Cheers, buddy. Hope you're well. Happy Thursday. Stu Snape is here. He says, we didn't get a Discord go live notification. A balls. How do I fix that now? Hang on. We'll do it live because I'm a muppet. Let's see if this works. Log in with Discord. Yes. Wait now, do I log in with Discord or do I access other server? Yeah, go on. Authorize. Yes. Return to your browser. Right. Select a server. Wait, we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere now. I didn't get a notification either. Okay. The flying circus. Get in there. Right. I have options in here that I can press. Got it. Got it. So we're looking at, let me see. Welcome, reaction, moderator, achievements. Go away. Automations. Jesus. Twitch alerts. Here we go. New channel. Twitch alerts. Subscribed channels. Live streaming auto. You get more visibility. New channel. Search for a channel. Two-Tone Murphy. I don't know. Let's find this. Yes. Hey everyone, Murph is now live. Go check it out. Okay. Select a channel. Oh, hang on. We're doing it now. What's the channel we're looking for? Live stream notifications, isn't it? Go live notifications. All right. Save that. And now we want a YouTube alert, I suppose. Right. New YouTube channel. What did I, Jesus? Two-Tone Murphy. This all deleted because I moved it because I'm a muppet. You know. Where's this now? Two-Tone Murphy, yes. Hey everyone, Two-Tone Murphy just posted a video. Go check it out. Select a channel. Go live. Go live notifications. Save and close. Did it save? Wait now. Wait now. It's thinking about it. Come on, you devil, and save. It saved. Riot. Now. Go live notifications hasn't done anything yet, but sure, look, it should work now the next time. Thanks for letting me know though, because I totally shagged it. Now, Me 6 isn't that the other thing? Edit channel. Does Me 6 have permissions? Heads up. Me 6. Yeah, you should have all the stuff in there now. Let's see here now. Send apps. Yes, yes. Mention everyone. Yes. Right, we should be good here now. Riot. Hopefully that fixed it. That was painless. Right, Stu. We blame Stu. Right, where was it? I was over here. Semantic Warrior. Good to see you, bud. Who else come in the door here now? Abdullah's here. Hope all is well. You've enabled him. Quacka. Good day to you. Naughty Gnome is here. Would you look what he did? 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community. Naughty, thank you very, very much indeed. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. MDA 009. Good to see you, man. A very happy Thursday, almost Friday for you. Hope all is well, bud. You're very welcome in. The Slick One is here. I just realised they've changed the formula for WD-40. It used to be basically kerosene, and now it's some sort of foul-smelling, environmentally friendly concoction that irritates me to no end. WD-40 adjacent. Yeah. We'll call it that, right? Maybe you need WD-40 on your bin. Right. The bin eating Murph's toes, right? You should get a Ninja Foodie too. Pressure cooker. But we have a slow cooker. Are they the same thing? Linny says, I swear by my Ninja air fryer. Ooh. Right, so Ninja is the brand to get. The missus showed me a picture where they have, like, you know, this David Beckham special edition coffee maker. Oh, Jesus. So we're going to have George Clooney, which we have, and then David Beckham. Go figure. Go figure. Where's this now? Got one of the twin drawer ninjas and the smoothie maker. Useful stuff, says the Impossible Face. An e-bike for Aegis. Yeah. Good old Hardly Norman. Yeah, go Hardly go. Can't have an e-bike here. It'd be nicked within 10 minutes of parking it. Right? Say goodbye to your Flight Sim gear budget. Not at all. Nerf My Age is here. Good to see you. MDA 40 months. Tier 3. He says 40 months of promising the missus a kitchen, and he's only as far as looking at a coffee machine. Be grand. Absolutely grand. Dazza T. Arab is here. Good to see you, Dazza. Liverpool in August, did you say? Yes, I think so, Dazza. Are you around? If you are, we'll have to change the date. Right? Oh, we can't do August. No. Dazza, when are you not around? Oh, really? That was the weekend we were planning. Right? I don't do as much as I used to, which is kind of nice, as Ali. Indeed. Right, we're over here now. Look, I didn't get a notification. That should be fixed, we hope. Oh, God, button pressing. Murph, the desk is, in one word, fantastic. Well thought out design, especially the cable management with its magnetic cable ties. Secret Lab did an awesome job. Sweet. That's brilliant. You totally enabled that, Stu. Yeah. Petrolhead is here, 16 months. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Cyrus says, hang on, I got a notification. Did you though? Or you're only saying that. I think there was a post saying going live in an hour. Yeah, that was it. Now, Abby Normal, good to see you. Stu says, work meeting about cybercrime now. You're going on mute, Murph. Cybercrime, you say? Enjoy it. Right, Two-Tone says Naughty. I know how to get the TriStar started and do an A to B flight, mostly without mistakes. I expect to learn things today. No pressure at all. Our air fryer just packed in yesterday. Goodbye, old friend. Oh no, Petrolhead, really? Cockpit Racing, good morning, buddy. Cheeky fecker, we're away the first week of August. When's the August bank holiday? August bank holiday, Ireland. Public holidays. Can you not just give me the answer, internet? 2026, August. Oh, it's on the 3rd of August. Balls. Right, leave it with me, Dazza. End of August. No, that's your bank holiday. Our August bank holiday is like early August. It's like the 3rd of August. Do you know? Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Because I was planning around the 3rd of August, but we'll see. We'll work on some dates and, do you know, plan it from there. I mean, that's all we can really do at this stage. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. Now, who else came into the parlour here now? Jesus, buttons. Johnny Mon, good morning. Hope you're well, Johnny. You're looking well. Memphis Dunn is here. Where do we find the manual for this one? So just do a search. iniBuilds have one on their forums. You can grab it there. Chris is in the house. Good morning. Triforce Gamers in the house. About to build my A320 cockpit. The wind control stuff has arrived. Nice. Roll Tide is here. Good morning. And Sir Victor, welcome in. What's cooking? Good looking. You're very welcome aboard. Right, we'll have a look here and we'll get started with this because there's a lot of learning involved. But I want to learn this thing because it looks fantastic, right? So we'll come over here. That was the new transition sound. I'll have to work on that. That was fairly crap now, to be fair. Right, anyway. Roll up the sleeves here now and we get ourselves kind of up and running. Look at the absolute hack of this thing. I went with the Delta livery because they have that beautiful kind of chrome business happening. You know what I mean? It does look very, very nice indeed. Now, let me see here. Can I edit this gadget? Stream settings. Because I have a feeling we're not getting the views that we should be on the vertical stuff. So, uno momento. Category gaming. Let's see what that does. Allow automatic chapters, allow this, that, the other. Yeah, that's all grand. Right, we'll save that and see what happens there. It'll just be very strange what goes on, doesn't it? Kubi is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. A very happy Thursday. So this thing, lads, it's exciting just to be watching this aircraft and the detail that they've gone into it. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? Like, this thing is exceptionally well modeled. The texture work is absolutely spot on. The decals, all the small little details, the ground elements, right? Absolutely incredible. This isn't GSX. This is what iniBuilds have done. We have all our pitot covers, all the little flags around the aircraft removed before flight. And when we go inspecting the aircraft, we also have the ability to make this thing look and feel a little bit older. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, a TTM how to fly this video will be awesome. Yes, they're all going to be saved on... why has that gone wrong? They're all going to be saved over in... move that now. In the world of YouTube. So should we go? Tima is here, good to see you. So what do we have here? First couple of things you'll notice, the size of it. It's a wide-bodied aircraft, but you'll also notice how far back the front landing gear is. It's way back. But also, when we look at the engine configuration, we'll kind of see some of the different things happening. The detailing here from iniBuilds, it is staggering. I mean, the tires alone, the detailing on the tires, the threads, texture work again, the wheels, hydraulics, suspension, all the friggin' lines that come down for brakes and hydraulics and all the jazz. I mean, the detailing, as you can see, it is superb. Even into the wheel well itself, you know, they've left nothing kind of sitting out, not sorted. So I think they've done an incredible job. It looks gorgeous, do you know? Murph, I was wondering, why are you so excited about the L-1011 and not so much about the MD-11? I love the MD-11. I'm relatively comfortable with it, and you know, we've flown it. We took that across the pond. this is just, I mean, tri-jets, they're just class. This one is kind of, I suppose it's kind of special because it's the only wide-body aircraft Lockheed built. And they built this, or at least they designed this at a time of the jet age aircraft. They just finished the SR-71. I mean, Lockheed are no stranger to making passenger aircraft, civilian aircraft, the Lodestar, for example, amongst others. But this, so much effort, if you like, and genius went into this aircraft, and never to kind of do others. I found that to be very interesting. This is the Dash 500 variant. There were a number of other variants. About 250-ish aircraft of these are actually developed. And we have the option here to have a lounge. We had a quick look at this yesterday. But basically, it had its own kind of air-stair connection. And it brought us inside here into a lounge. And this was kind of like the pre-flight back in the day. Nothing like all the queues you see lining up now. I mean, this is very much, okay, get our passengers on board. They can go and chill out in the lounge. And they can actually enter the aircraft from here as well. Because in the lounge, and they've put in tons of little stuff. They've got cans of Coke and Budweiser and food. And there's a period kind of books and magazines and all that jazz. And you can actually access the main cabin from this lounge, which is absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? They needed to sell about 500 to break even. Yeah, they didn't. They lost money on this project. You know, the fact that it's a retro aircraft as well, Roy. Yeah, I mean, I'm big into the retro stuff. I'm very excited, looking forward to Just Flight's F70 and F100 as well. They're just class airplanes, and you know. These don't fly anymore. We don't see these flying anymore. So it's a great chance to actually have them flying in the sim. Do you know what I mean? Again, looking at all the detailing here, the attention to detail. We have our lights here built into the wing. I think this was just for the Type 500 or the Dash 500. And with that, all the decals, everything is very clear. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Do you know? So as we move around, we do have options here for the ground crew to be inspecting and working on these RB 211 engines, the Rolls-Royce engines, and we do have our covers on here at the moment. But again, you have the option to be able to open up the engine cowling. You can have the crew working away, inspecting, just the maintenance guys really. So it's pretty cool. Andy Brown is here. Happy birthday, Andy. You're in Spain getting tanned. Come on yourself, Andy. Don't forget the sun cream now, and salt water between the cheeks of your but enjoy it, buddy, and happy birthday. But yeah, I mean, look, you can see from the detailing here, we have the engine covers on, and you can look back in here into the exhaust as well. Like, the detailing is incredible. They really have done a great job. And like, then you look at the size of the wings. I mean, the pylon there is friggin' huge. But like, when you look at the leading edge of the wing, for which, you know, there's slats on that, big, they hang right down, and we have flaps on the trailing edge. But when you look at the wing, I mean, it's a huge wing on this aircraft. It's massive, absolutely massive. And like, the detailing, we can see everything there from our lights, but then we also have our kind of static wicks here, the ports coming down on the side as well. And with the light built into the back of it, similar to that, of course, of the A300. And then we just have our main flight control surfaces, and then we also have our flaps, and we have spoilers built in there as well. Absolutely class. The main landing gear at the rear of the aircraft, 4 wheels sitting on the bogie. Again, attention to detail, it's just class looking. And it's not that you're going to spend an awful lot of time out here, but the good thing about all of this is when you see the level of detail, it just goes to show what they're working on, what you can expect from this add-on, which is pretty cool. So it's all about familiarization, learning this airplane. And it's like everything, right? I mean, we start off on the ground, walking around, having a look, seeing what it's all about, understanding where things are and why they're there. Out towards the tail section, you'll notice that, look, we got a lot of different panels and covers here. There's hinges on them. There is a skid plate, and we also have this big exhaust. That's where the APU is, because, well, there's no room to put the APU above, because you actually have an engine sitting in there. So it's understanding all the stuff from there. And again, lads, I mean, look at the detail. Isn't it frightening? We can get right up close and personal look. It's fascinating, isn't it? To see what they've done. Falconer flew in one in 97. Ooh, nice. So as we move up and along here, when we look at the tail section of this aircraft, this is where it's very, very unique. The TriStar, where it has the air intake, that isn't the engine. The engine is actually down here towards the back. And what this meant for operators using it, the effect, if you had an engine out, would have been kind of less pronounced on your rudder, because the engine doesn't go through or over the rudder. It's just a very different looking beast. You compare this to the the MD-11, where its full pylon is sitting above, almost like an afterthought. But you come in here to the main air intake, then you come down this S duct, and that's where you have the engine. It's kind of cool, isn't it? I mean, like, when you look at the detail even in here, it's frightening what they've done. So we'll ramble out the back. There's the exhaust, and we'll have old mate working on it there. It's just done very, very well. And reading up on this thing, if you did have an engine out situation on this engine, as you were taking off, the aircraft would actually have a habit of pitching up, because you've lost that thrust keeping it down. It would nose up. And there's a very interesting article, I'll show you now after a while, of a pilot who ran into trouble flying this thing in relatively bad weather, but he managed to make it all kind of work. So again, we've tons of detailing here. It's absolutely class. It really, really is a stunning aircraft. We'll ramble on into the cabin then. Again, it's all about familiarization. So in terms of features that the aircraft has, when we compare it to like the modern aircraft, this was the first auto-land capable wide-body jet. A lot of similar systems in terms of an APU, your normal kind of engine starter procedures, onboard power. Other things we'll look at then is going to be our navigation options. We have a lot of navigation options in this, which is class. So yeah, the detailing, it is superb, and I think overall it's just a unique aircraft. Also, another uniqueness part of it as well are the interior doors. The doors don't open outwards like most conventional kind of airliners, right? What they do, they push in and slide up into the fuselage. So if we were to have a look at the door here, for example, well, there's the door up there, look. And this was not unique, but certainly they were thinking about the cabin crew when it came to this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know, you guys ever look at that even with today's airplanes, even 737s, like you see, the cabin crew, and they're out, like, they're big, heavy doors. And
dreamy,
like,
sleepy, nighty, snoozy snooze.
Cheers, Muttley. They're leaning right outside the aircraft trying to sort out the doors, and you've wind and you've all this kind of stuff. You just didn't have that issue with the TriStar. You just didn't have that issue at all. So we do have a stairs connected to it. This is the main cabin entry. And just look at the space. You don't have this sort of space anymore. I mean, if Michael O'Leary saw this, he'd faint. Jesus, he'd fit an extra 50 seats in this. But you kind of get the gist of it, whereby the configuration is a 2-3-2 and then a 3-3-2. Is that what it is? Or is it a 3-4-2? Hang on, we'll go into the back and double check. Yeah, a 3-4-2. It's unusual, isn't it? 2 seats on one side, 3 on the other. But you know what? I would rather prefer an aircraft to have this. I mean, when we did all our flights over to New Zealand, it was a 3-4-3, right? Or it was a 2-4-2, which is no use to any bugger. At least here you have 3, you have 4, or you have 2. It's ideal. It's just, for comfort and knowing where things are, it's just better. Do you know what I mean? This is our galley entrance then for our first class passengers. They can go down into the lounge. But, when it comes to kind of cabin crew and all the jazz, you can see where all their seats are. The crew only seats, they're all on the phone. We have a number of different lavatories up here as well. And then we have the crew only. And like, just look at the scale. It's quite an open space as we ramble on into the flight deck. So into the flight deck, and this thing, it's just, I mean, when was the last time you saw, a wooden veneer inside a flight deck? You just don't see that anymore. So here you have the engineer station, and from there we have the co-pilot position, and even the oxygen tanks. Look at the big old oxygen tank. You don't see much of that now. Like, they're all in smaller compressors outside of the cockpit. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Kev is here. Good to see you, buddy. Roll Tide says, first time I went to the US, it was on a Delta L-1011. No way. The blue Scandinavia L-1011 came from Cathay. Nice. If O'Leary had his way, there'd be no seats, right? So from the co-pilot perspective then over to the pilot perspective, but here's where this thing gets kind of nuts. Look at the amount of additional seats we have, right? So you have a jump seat, a second jump seat, and then the engineer. So we actually have 5 seats in here. 5 seats in the cockpit, which is nuts. And this jump seat here, I mean, if I wasn't flying the thing, this is like the best seat in the house, because you're looking over the pilot's shoulder. Look at this for your seating position, right? Fantastic big old windows. The windows here are massive. They don't open from what I can see. We do have an escape hatch, and yon up that way, and then we have like this ladder that gets us out, but also then there's another ladder, I think, that drops down the side of the aircraft to get them out over it, you know. And we can see additional detail here. Again, the decals. I mean, look at all this. Look, airworthiness. Is there a date in it? Back in 1979, right? So basically, when it comes to getting ourselves familiar with it, we need to be aware, yes, there is an engineer station. And the good news is iniBuilds built in this automation where he'll do his own stuff and just report back to you. But our job is to learn exactly in detail what's going on and why. If you were to look at everything at this engineer panel now, if you were to bring this aircraft up to something more modern, the likes of maybe the MD-11 or even into our normal kind of 777s or A350s and whatnot, literally 5 or 6 buttons or kind of modules replace everything here, which is mad the way the world is going. So bit of familiarization if we want to have a look. So from the engineers panel, what we have starting down at the very bottom of it, this is where we have some of our lighting settings, internal lights. As we move up, we have communications panel, and then we have the main fuel system. And looking at the fuel system on this, we have tank 1, 2, 3, and then we have tank 2 right. There is a variant that they actually had an additional engine pod. We're not going to use that, but it is to be aware of it. So it's a 3-engine aircraft. We're aware of that, engine 1, 2 and 3, and up from the fuel system we then have the electrical system. Now the electrical system, this is where all our bus breakers are, the tie switches, auxiliary power unit, all the engine oil temperature readouts, they're all here, our amp meter of what's happening, what battery switches we're working off, ground power, APU and all the jazz, that's all there. And we also have galley power, which is important. This is what powers up the galley, you see. From there, looking up over, we have our hydraulic system, and this is where there's a bit of head scratching, because we're kind of half used to looking at hydraulic systems now being kind of green, blue, these lines that you kind of follow with the Airbus logic. We do have the lines here, you can clearly see where they go, but we just need to figure out what configuration they need to be at. When we're starting up things like the APU, engine start switches, and we want to operate flaps and all this kind of jazz. Moving across, then we have engine bleed control, and we have everything from our ram air cooler, turbo bypass cooler, isolation valves, hot air, cold air, cabin temperature, that's all in there. To the right hand side of that, we have our cabin pressure control, seeing that our thousands of feet select the barrow in which we want, and then what way our rate is going to be. Will it be normal or high? Below that then we have environmental stuff, so we can see here the PAX flow, that's our air conditioning, what PAX system we want to use. We also have this for our avionics air, cooling the avionics, so that's where we can monitor all of that. And then a little bit further down we have our APU control, which is just located in here. So the APU unit, we have a master power switch, we have a start switch, and then we have a number of annunciator panels: don't load, battery condition, doors in transit, inlet, low oil quantity, couple of warning lights there to keep an eye on it. Over to the right hand side then we have our flight recorder, so we can see our pilot identification, our flight number, the leg, and then the date, and then you see hours and minutes, and that's for setting up the flight recorder. Wastewater is also a thing in the aircraft. You can pump stuff in, you can drain it, that's all in there as well. We have our cargo compartment when it comes to our smoke and fire detection, smoke detection master on the galley duct, humidity control is there as well, and then we're just looking at our main engine instruments. And then finally we have our oral warning test. We'll be testing that before we power up the aircraft. We also have our slat monitor, so you have slat and flaps. We have your brake temperature monitor, wheel well fire test, engine cooling, turbine cooling, your nacelle pylon overheat detection, fire detection loop, and then your fire extinguishers. So that's everything that's on the engineer's station. Not to mention, we have an overhead with circuit breakers, and also the wall here beside us, also circuit breakers, and these are actually modelled. These work, which is mad, right? Absolutely mad. So leaving the engineer station then, bit of cockpit familiarization. So from our perspective as pilot flying, or as, you know, the pilot, well, a bit of familiarization. So we have our main panel here in front of us, right? And we have some light switches over here on the left hand side. This, I think, is weather, right? This is a little weather radar to keep an eye on what's happening. Our main kind of standard instruments, so we have a chrono, we have our airspeed indicator, our HSI, we have not sure what that is. That looks to be like radar altitude for our decision altitude or decision height. We have our altimeter, and it shows the baro in both inches of mercury and hectopascals. We have an ADF, which is class. We have our stab trim indicator. This is for spoilers. It's for elevator and aileron, rudder, all the jazz. This here, I think, is part of our TCAS. We'll have a look at that now in a moment. We have our HSI. There's our artificial horizon. We also have a VOR indicator here as well. VSI and TCAS. Good man, Malky. So vertical speed indicator and also your TCAS combined. Then we have options here for the instrument source selector, flight director, indicated airspeed or Mach, attitude, altitude or vertical speed, heading or nav. So that's all part of the autopilot unit. We will be learning the autopilot unit and how it works, but for now, that's just what we're looking at there. Onto the middle panel, what we're looking at here, these are all our engine instruments. And those RB211s, they're quite a modern engine. They've N3, N2, N1. And you also have your turbine gas temperature, we have our fuel flow, and then we have our main engine power here as well. It doesn't have dial a flap, but it does have a lot of flap settings. You can see it here with all the various different flaps. Flaps 33, could be flaps 10 on takeoff. We have brake pressure, brake systems, normal system or alternate system. We have the ability to move that around. Our main landing gear handle. We also have this screen here. This is going to be part of our navigation. This screen, if we opt in to use it, will show us a map, and it will show us what our route is going to be. These units here beside it, these are INS. These are our inertial navigation systems or internal navigations. We're going to read up on these, but effectively one of these is tied to each of your IRS alignment switches up on the overhead. You can use one, you can use two, or indeed you can use all three. So we'll be checking those guys out. As we move down then, we can see this is where our parking brake is, and you can see park select B system. We then have some lighting controls below it. We have our radio communications. As we move on down, we have frequency for our ADF, your automatic direction finder. Moving up here then, the weather radar. Here is our transponder. So this is where we'd be putting in our transponder squawk codes and the mode. Then we have our weather radar, and that's powering a little screen just down by our left knee. Down from that then, we have another INS. From there, we can see our trims. So we can see yaw, and we can also see our roll trims. Underneath the main body here, we have a phone. We also have a microphone or a radio. That's for our main cabin communications. Looking at the seats and these things, this is where it's different, right? Because most of the newer aircraft that have tracks on the ground, these were all built in. Now, the seats were able to travel forwards and back and all this kind of stuff, but you can kind of see how these seats have changed over the years. For example, the engineer's station, well, he does have the tracks there that the whole seat moves all the way back, which is pretty cool, right? But yeah, so that's pretty much there on the lower panel. Moving across onto the co-pilot side, much the same what we have on the left. However, we do have some additional information, takeoff data cards, and also our flap indicator. Oxygen systems, we have many of these. So this is the co-pilot side, so we can see our oxygen regulator, and to think it's being fed by this big puppy here, it's just nuts, isn't it? Like, as I say, like, it's modern aircraft, you rarely see these. Do you know what I mean? Is Murph pretending he knows what he's talking about again? Yes, Gibbo! Good to see you, buddy. Happy Thursday. Also, this PFB, the paper flight pad, or flight bag, this is pretty awesome. I love what iniBuilds have done here, because it keeps the thing very kind of period correct. It's giving you that retro. It's very, very good. We have a lot of options with this, and we can use them in different areas. So as we move up onto the center panel, we can see, well, this is our nav radios. Effectively, if you want to tune into our VHF nav radios, and we have one on the left and we have one on the right. Think of things like your VORs, right? That's where you'd be tuning in there. Next, then we have our auto throttle, in which we have auto throttle, and then we have TM, which is, well, I need to learn what that system is, but one is for speed and then one I think is max speed. Again, I need to learn it. Autopilot controls, VNAV for our nav system, so VNAV, vertical speed, altitude, IAS or Mach, and we have an up-down slider there. Heading for heading mode. Then we have flight director switches on the top, left and right. Then we have our this turb button. See the way we have off, CWS and command. These are our autopilot master switches. Thrust management, thank you Naughty. Thrust management up to a certain number, that's what it is. But anyway, these guys here, these are the autopilot switches. Then we have nav over here, and then we have our altitude. So we can see, are we going to go ILS? Are we going localizer, VOR, INS, and then our courses. We also have a back course capability, our altitude selector. You can test that as well, and that's kind of it. We also have our engine fail switches here. So we can see engine 2 fail, push to reset on either side, right? I don't know why there's only an engine 2 fail. Engine 1 must be somewhere else. We'll have a look. But yeah, pretty cool. On this variant, we've gone with a GPS option. So this would effectively help us. Oh, Malky, good man. This would effectively help us use modern navigating procedures. For example, your RNAV capabilities and all that sort of jazz, following a flight plan, SIDS and stars. That'll give us that capability. So it's pretty cool. We also have some reference points here for the compass, right? 1988, it was signed off by John Dogue, man John, and this is our onboard magnetic compass, which we can control things such as lighting and so on. Speaking of that now, we're going to have a quick look at the overhead, and the overhead is pretty cool on this. There's a bit going on, but not too much to kind of upset us. The main things to kind of get comfortable with, everything else above the fire extinguishers, they're just circuit breakers, so we won't need to worry too much about them. We do need to focus up here is the likes of our INS switches, our IRS, for which we have 3 of them. So you have one here, second one is there, third one is there. So they're your IRS switches, and there's a to-do if you want to get these guys aligned to either your INS, or if you're just going to use GPS, you can get the GPS position as well. So looking at these panels, well, what do we have? We have a lot. Automatic braking. So for, you know, your standard airline flying, you can say, well, this is your takeoff or reject a takeoff. Then you have minimum, medium and maximum. That is your automatic braking. Wiper controls, the washer and repellent. They tend not to use repellent too much. That came into the modern, what do they call it? Rain something. Very expensive, and seemingly it destroys paintwork. So they tend not to use that. Anti-rain, I think it's called. But anyway, we also have our anti-skid, in which we have it on 4. We can test these as well. We have our compass master slave switches here, and then more INS up on top. Coming down then, we have a number of aircraft systems. This is where we can test things like our stability control, yaw systems, stall warning, all that jazz is there. And then we have our PFCS monitor. Not entirely sure about this, we're going to have to learn it, but again, these are like system inputs. If we have an issue or if we need to turn them off. Passenger address, that's our PA system. We can increase our volume for that. We have our external lighting. So we have our wing landing, nose wheel, runway turn off, logo lights. Then we have our wheel well, wing floodlights, anti-collision strobes, and we have our position lights. So that's all our external lights. Moving into the center, we now have emergency lighting, and we also have our standby power. Instrument standby lights, dim or bright. And then we have all this stuff with our engine start system. So it works off 3 systems. You can have it on channel A, channel B, or both. Depending on the airline, they usually kind of rotate them around. Continuous ignition we'll be using for takeoff. Ground start, assistant air start, if you have that connected, which you can attach the ACS unit. We have our windmill air start. And then we have our main engine starts as well. Windmill air start is allowing that the fans, or the blades, if you like, are windmilling. So you're not starting the turbine from scratch. What else do we have here? This is a voice recorder. I think. Moving up, then we have Mach fuel and rudder limiter. I need to learn on that. Additional lights are up here as well. Evacuation system, air data sensor, windshield heat, side window. So that's your windshield heating. Here's our anti-ice system, auto or manual for both systems, left and right. The engine anti-ice heat switches are here. Then we have our cabin interphone, in which we can call the different areas. So we have the stewardess, we have the ground, the lounge, and so on. And you can see in the cabin who we're calling in the galley. Interior lights, so we have these for our compass and also our panel lights. But we also then have our fasten seatbelt sign, no smoking sign, an eye locator. Not quite sure what the eye locator is. Rain repellent on the other side, it's wiper. We have radio master switches. These are our avionics. And then we have additional lights up here. Caution advisory lights, we can have them on or dim. And then we can turn on the panel and overhead lights as well. Next up to that, we have a high frequency radio, 2 channels, in which we can use that for kind of oceanic stuff. And then we have a compass slave over on this side. And that kind of concludes where everything is inside the flight deck. Starting off, you're going to say, Jesus, there's an awful lot. There is, but what we'll learn about this aircraft, it's how logical, and there is still a lot of automation with it. It's quite a logical layout. So this is class, lads. This is really, really interesting for a new aircraft, and for something that we just haven't really seen. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw an L-1011. I think Captain Sim did one of these way back in the day. You know. So that's kind of the hack of it. The features of the aircraft, as you can see, the modeling is just so nice. It's so pretty, and the detailing. I think it's a beautiful aircraft. Do you know? I forgot one thing under the pilot INS. Under the pilot INS. Oh, this guy here. Yes. Yes. There is much learning on this, right? Basically, it's an onboard computer. Does much learning because we have different climb profiles, we have D-rate profiles. We do have kind of engine management in here as well, performance management. There's a lot to be done with these systems. And we have them on both sides. Again, I need to read up and learn on them. Some aircraft, you might see this stuff over here. It's like this automatic throttle system or the throttle management system. But with the L-1011, we have it down there. So we need to learn on that for sure, right? Are there parachutes under the passenger seats, right? And again, like, look at the detail. Even the rudder pedals, look. Isn't that class, isn't it? I'm not sure what this is. No doubt we'll find out, but, you know... and that's where our weather radar is in here. Here's our tiller for controlling our wheels on the ground. And the rest then, just a number of different switches for lighting. As we move back here then, we have a radio switch for this guy. Oxygen tank is in there. It's just class looking, isn't it? Dan says, been on my mind to buy this. The only thing stopped me is the fact that it's INS navigation. I don't really understand how to use it, where the numbers, course numbers are. So it's not just INS. You can actually fly this with just a GPS, as you would any aircraft. And we're gonna go through all different navigation options. We're going to learn how to use the INS. We're going to set up flights that are doing or that are just kind of VOR, follow the needle flights. Then we'll do INS flights. Then we'll combine our INS with our GPS. We're going to know this thing inside and out. There's going to be no element of this aircraft that we're going to be left scratching our head. It'll probably take us a few weeks, right? A couple of streams to learn it. But that's the whole purpose of today's stream. We want to learn this machine in its detail, right? So, absolutely gorgeous. Is it expensive? No. For the bang for your buck with this aircraft, this is not expensive. I think it's $40 or $45 on the marketplace. It's not an expensive add-on. Considering just how much of this aircraft you're getting, I don't think it's bad, you know? INS is not as scary as you might think. It's just data entry. Yeah, 100%. So with the aircraft kind of in position, but we do have a lot of information, right? And we do have a video as well from iniBuilds, the introduction, and we'll play it because if you haven't seen it, it's very, very good. And we'll play some of it here now today. So where is it now? This is the welcome to the iniBuilds video. So they give us a full overview. But what I have here, I have a number of sources of information. So we have stuff from a website called TriStar500.net. And just to give you an idea, this is all to do with the design features of the aircraft, right? So we'll have a look at this and see what happens. So zoom this in now so it fits our page. So what we're looking at here, the booklet provides a list of positive features which Lockheed incorporates into the TriStar. Some of the features are unique to the TriStar, while others have been used by some competitive models. So passenger appeal, comfort and safety, the flight crew, the cabin crew, maintenance and ground crews, performance and safety, productivity and profit, community acceptance, and then we have a list of the number of different operators. So what do we have? Double width front loading door allows passengers to load and exit two abreast, and that's something you just don't see in aircraft anymore. Think about it, lads. You just don't see that, two abreast. And why this was important, I mean, this was aimed at the airliners back in the day, because sure, you want to get people on and off quickly. The turnaround time is where it was at. You know, you have couple of million quid's worth of a plane sitting idle. It's not making you money. You need the thing moving, right? Also facilitates evacuation during emergencies. No doors over the wing. It allows for faster evacuation of passengers and optimum layout of the cabin class areas. The wing engines are further from the cabin. The L-1011 has a highly effective rudder, which allows the wing engines to be placed further from the cabin walls, reducing cabin noise. 3 air conditioning supplies, full operation permits, a complete change in cabin air every 3 minutes. Adequate comfort can be maintained with just 1 supply. Passenger utilities, also overhead placement of air, lights and oxygen with controls in the seat arm, requires no compromises in the seat design and comfort, so they have full control in the seat arm. And then the wider seats, coach seats are more than an inch wider on older jets. A wider floor allows more space than on some other wide bodies. And what makes this very interesting, this is now the opposite thinking these days is not about passenger comfort. If you want passenger comfort, airlines will now charge you a savage premium for it. Back then, Lockheed were saying, hey, we actually gave coach wider seats. They were making the passengers more comfortable. They gave them more space for not adding in more seats. They made the seats wider. That level of thinking, that whole idea is long gone now. And well, curses, right? Because I don't know, my arse was as numb can get on some of the flights I did recently. But anyway, passenger appeal and comfort safety. And again, we will get into the aircraft itself, but we want to learn about the thing. We want to get what makes this aircraft so special. That's what we're trying to do, right? So the passenger appeal and comfort, lavatory arrangement in the aft cabin. And this is pretty wild. The hemispherical aft cabin bulkhead accommodates 5 easily accessible lavatories, completely remote from food service areas. So all the jacks, right, all the toilets, they're down at the very, very back of the aircraft in kind of like a half semicircle. Savage. The ceiling, the L-1011 cabin decor has been rated as most pleasing of all wide-body aircraft. The recessed ceiling areas and cold cathode indirect lighting are innovative. Kind of like that blue, kind of a tinty cold lighting. We see it now in the Dreamliners. Direct lift control, the system provides a smoother approach flight, calmer passengers and more accurate automatic landings. Direct lift control. Softer landings, the soft land design of the L-1011. Shock struts pleases passengers, especially when combined with the easy touchdown of auto land registered. Right. Optional lower lounge, a luxurious lower deck lounge with 16 saleable seats is a unique optional feature. Think of your beluga caviar, your fine wines and champagnes, and then your optional air stairs. Integral folding air stairs are available to expedite passengers loading and provide self-sufficiency where needed. This idea was a must-have. This was a must-have because Ryanair adopted this, Southwest adopted this, their aircraft have the stairs built in. And the reason being is, well, they didn't need ground crews, they didn't need these jetway connections. They can horse you out in the ramp, reload and gone again. It's all about keeping the things moving. So then we talk about the flight crew. This is our neck of the woods, right? So the cockpit layout, design emphasizes on safety, comfort and convenience and visibility with those massive windows. excellent vertical and horizon reference is provided, right? Now, the handling characteristics, total satisfaction was achieved by a combination of computerized design parameters and airline pilots' evaluation. The Rolls-Royce engines. Fewer stages means fewer parts. The three-spool concept provides shorter, more rigid rotating assemblies and requires less pilot attention since each spool operates at its optimum RPM. The flying tail provides greater control effectiveness and is less complex than conventional stabilizer-elevator combinations. The Autoland system, the fail operative design, provides accurate soft landings for true all-weather operation. Category 3A was included in initial aircraft certification. Then we have the curved windshield. The line replaceable curved design reduces noise, drag, and internal reflections and provides an unobstructed view. Then the cabin crew. What was it like for them? Well, 2 galley lifts are able to carry either carts or personnel, thereby providing faster food and beverage service. The spacious galley, the optimum vertical location of the main cabin and galley floors, allows a wide floor in each case and less cramped quarters and more headroom. Galley work and counter window. The L-1011 galley has a work counter, sink and running water, plus a small window for use of the galley crew. Isn't it mad when you think about it? Advanced infrared ovens. 5 new technology infrared ovens are located immediately below the 6 refrigerators for easy transfer of food trays. Multiple galley escape routes, 2 personnel rated lifts, plus the outside loading door and overhead escape hatch provide multiple exit routes. The galley refrigerators, full refrigeration is supplied without the use of dry ice and its CO2 fumes. And then we have a retractable coat rod compartment. The new type coat storage compartments incorporate rods which retract into the ceiling, saving valuable floor space. It's just... this thing was built to be the absolute dream machine, because it's like they thought of everything. But what about the ground crews? I mean, what were they rolling their sleeves up to? Well, the separate galley loading door. Since the galley has its own loading door, cargo loading and galley servicing can proceed simultaneously. There's a separate hydraulic centre. All 4 hydraulic systems may be conveniently serviced from a single centre. Fewer parts are required. Avionics and electrical equipment are located directly below the flight station and they're accessible during flight. The electrical service centre is also accessible from the galley during the flight. The centre engine position in the S-duct arrangement, the engine is 10 feet lower than a fin-mounted engine. This permits easier access for maintenance of or engine changes. 10 feet lower. Built-in test equipment, fault isolation and built-in test equipment reduce maintenance-related delays and unjustified part removal. Optional spare engine pod. The ability to carry a spare engine under the wing on a scheduled flight reduces the downtime at outstations and reduces the spares required. And this is the thing, and iniBuilds actually included that additional engine. That's it. You can have this loaded into the aircraft. It's friggin' nuts. It's cool, right? So what about its performance then and its safety? We learned about the pilots, we learned about the equipment, we learned the cabin crew, the passengers, the ground crew. What are we like with performance and safety? Well, the flying tail provides greater longitudinal control effectiveness, particularly at high speeds, and it prevents jet upset accidents. It also eliminates trim problems. Direct lift control performance minimizes frequent altitude or attitude changes during approach. It provides faster control response and improves landing accuracy. This is kind of getting you close to maybe the fly-by-wire kind of, isn't it? Do you know? Direct lift control spoiler, control of flare trajectory and stabilizer control of attitude result in rapid response higher system. Again, reduced attitude changes, improved speed stability, a lower flare height, less sensitivity to wind variations, reduced variations at touchdown in vertical velocity and longitudinal scatter. 4 hydraulic systems, more reliable with fewer parts and longer pump service life. 1 system alone can maintain flight operation. You 4. The aircraft only needs 1. You know, Cornwolf, good to see you. Hatchet, good to see you. Welcome in, lads. A redundant brake system, a separate alternate braking system, is functional, identical to the normal system, but operates from a different hydraulic system. And that's why we had a quick look at the parking brake. You can see it was on system B. So if we had to change that for whatever reason, if we had a hydraulic failure, we can actually transfer the braking system over to its own independent system, which is kind of mad. That's pretty cool. Bonded structure, thermal adhesive bonded combined with rivets provides double joint strength. Corrosion protection is advanced by a factor of 10. And minimum corrosion is assured by the use of clad exterior wing skins and age stabilized aluminium alloys. And then we have productivity and profit. Fuel efficiency, the RB211 engines provide 25% better specific fuel consumption than pre-1970 engines, with a corresponding decrease in fuel burned per seat mile. Its reliability, the L-1011 airline fleet dispatch reliability has reached 98.9% against the original target of 99%. Cabin flexibility, the cabin was designed to accommodate a wide range of airline needs, not only in first class and coach ratios, but also in the total seat capacity, up to a maximum of 400. Wide-body aircraft have voluminous cargo holds, which accommodate 2 abreast LD3 containers, with an optional larger forward cargo door. Pallets can also be carried. Maintainability, the revolutionary maintainability improvements designed into the L-1011 have reduced the frequency of routine and periodic maintenance checks. And then the S-duct payload benefits. The S-duct center engine location benefits payload by its lower fuselage weights. It allows a longer constant fuselage section, thereby adding seating space, and the more effective rudder allows the engines to be located further outboard on the wings, and provides an optimized center cabin door location. The exhaust efflux provides an effective finesse ratio increase and hence reduces drag. That's crazy. So what are they saying about it? What were the airlines saying about it back in the day? The TriStar is the best wide-body flying today. It is the most comfortable and the safest. The L-1011 has reached new heights, dispatch rate than the DC-8 ever did. Best airplane we've ever flown. The RB211 headed toward becoming best of wide-body engines, now living up to the original expectations. Or indeed, the L-1011 is the best airplane we've ever owned. Foreign operators say the sole reason we selected the TriStar from other candidates, the mainstay of our fleet, was that after careful evaluation, we found them technically and economically superior. We're very pleased to bring to the people and shippers in our country the world's most sophisticated wide-body aircraft, the Rolls-Royce powered Lockheed TriStar. And they go on and on and on. So that's kind of like, right, this is the machine, right? Pretty cool, right? And all this information, it's available over on tristar500.net. So here we have like the Haynes manual, a cutaway of the aircraft, and we can zoom in on this and we can get a proper detail of, well, look, this is where everything is, right? And there's a lot going on here. I mean, okay, where your passenger seats are, but like when you see this kind of a cutaway of understanding where the slats, the flaps, the systems, and all the jazz, and everything's labeled and, you know, numbered. It's pretty cool, right? This plane has buttons, lots of buttons. Yeah, not safe from Earth. Indeed, Prime, indeed. So, yeah, that cutout, that's absolutely class. That is class, because it just gives you an idea of, hey, what's going on? Okay, 100, that's just showing us seats, but what is it? Go back to 100, 98, 99, 100. Rear cabin seating. Ah. What's 98? Overhead stowage bins. Ah. What's 87? Fuselage rear spar. This line here, look. Ooh. 182. Oil cooler. That's where your oil cooler is in the engine. Like, it's class that you can kind of see this stuff, do you know? So then we look at the flight compartment. This is the cockpit diagrams, and again, we'll find this in some of the manuals as well. But again, this is just the cutout reading of, well, here's your IRS alignments, here's your anti-skid, automatic brake. We had a look at all of this, and this is from the real deal. And you know what? It's so class that you can reference this data back and look at the aircraft itself, because it matches. It absolutely matches, and that's class. You can actually use real-world reference material in order to learn the aircraft. You know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant. So if we have a look now at kind of the main here, so we can see the weather radar just behind my head. Here's all our, now that's different, instrument comparator. That's interesting. And then we have all our annunciator panels. Like, it's just class, isn't it? There are no reviews from the famous Eastern crash in the Everglades about the famous landing gear light bulb. Was that an L-1011? McCain from the movie Die Hard, I think, was the second one. Used the elevator in the plane. Ah, ooh, interesting. And then we have the technical profile. And there's a lot of stuff in here. You know, we don't need to go through it all. But the L-1011 500 is the newest, most advanced member of the TriStar family of wide-body jet transport, designed to meet the medium to long-range air traffic demands of the 1980s and 1990s. Entering airline service in 1979, the L-1011-5 complements the older or the other L-10 TriStar models by offering increased range and payload flexibility to provide optimized service over intercontinental airlines' long-haul medium-density routes. Featuring an optional maximum takeoff weight of 504,000 pounds, the L-1011 500's outward appearance is similar to that of the other L-1011 TriStar family members, except for a shorter fuselage and a large cargo door to accommodate pallets, containers, or a combination of both in the forward cargo compartment. The basic L-1011 500 accommodates 240 passengers on a standard mix of 10% first class, 90% economy, and it features cabin-level galleys, 8 lavatories, and generous provisions for stowage of coats and cabin baggage. Powered by advanced 50,000-pound thrust Rolls-Royce RB211 524B engines, the L-1011 500 will operate efficiently over still air ranges from 500 to 5,500 nautical miles. This capability exceeds that of the longest range Boeing 747 or DC-8 aircraft, and thus will permit the TriStar to serve virtually all of the world's intercontinental routes. As a result of the advanced technical features and optimized payload capacity, the L-1011 direct operating costs per airplane mile of competitive long-haul wide-body aircraft are 10 to 40% higher. At the same time, the L-1011 500 offers out-of-pocket seat mile costs 20 to 25% lower than those of the narrow-body aircraft. General characteristics, dimensions, sizes, the landing gear, the wheelbase, the doors, cargo volume, right? Basic interior arrangements, so you can kind of see which way they have it, where galleys, lavies, the coat closet, and so on, where they're all located. There's a shot there of where the APU is located at the back, right? 240 passengers with 24 first class, 216 economy, or 242 passengers, 24 first class, and 218 economy. So you can squeeze in an additional 2. Eastern 401 was the first TriStar hull loss. Oh, Jesus. Interior flexibility, so a 3, 4, and a 2, or a 2, a 5, and a 2, or a 3, a 4, and a 3. So you have different options of where you want them, and you can see where the spaces are. 57, 41, or 41. Fancy. Cargo capability, so you can see where your LD3 containers go, alternate loading widths, baggage containers, the whole lot. A lot of stuff can get into this aircraft. Cargo accommodations, and then we have our worldwide operations. So operating out of course, London, New York. I mean, it just goes to show the range of these aircraft. Isn't that incredible? Mrs. TPHI, good morning, upside down. Present. Upside down present. Good morning. Noise characteristics, that you can see it here, the noise level, right? Excellent cabin noise level thanks to the wings having the engines push out so far. Then we have the economics. Then we have the reliability, maintainability, ergonomics, direct operating costs, system design features. So the L-1011-5 intercontinental range jet transport uses proven L-1011 TriStar structural and functional subsystems, modified and developed to provide the most advanced subsonic commercial transport system available today. Flight station. Comprehensive human factor considerations have been incorporated into the panel arrangements. Instrument displays, window design and control locations in the TriStar flight station. The features provide exceptional internal and external visibility. Flying Winnebago, good to see you, buddy. Briggsy, how are you? Flight guidance and control. Demand for more reliable operational performance and increased safety led to 4 outstanding features in the L-1011. Full hydraulic power controls, flying stabilizer, direct lift control, and avionics flight control system, an AFCS. All 4 features have a beneficial effect on operational safety. Hydraulic power controls assure consistently good handling qualities and minimum degradation in the unlikely event of a multiple hydraulic system failure. It goes on about the direct lift control. We also have extended wing active controls, performance management system, PMS, energy conservation features, right? Cruising at peak specific air range, Mach number would appear to be obvious energy conservation measure and an easy one to achieve with the sophisticated autopilot and auto throttle. Then your active aileron controls, the airframe structure, propulsion, goes about the engine, the main rotating assemblies of those RB211s, hydraulic system diagram, right? There is a ram air turbine with the aircraft. Then we see the gearbox, 2 gearboxes, engines 1, 2 and 3. Power transfer unit. Then we have our spoilers, flight controls, autopilot, and then down the way as well. The hydraulic system, that is interesting. 4 independent hydraulic systems. Normal pressurization of each of the 4 systems is accomplished by a variable displacement pump gear driven by the engines. Each system has a second source for pressure. For 2 of these, an air turbine motor driven by pneumatic pressure from a cross-bleed manifold is used as required to drive hydraulic pumps. That's going to be important when we're figuring out starting up some of the aircraft engines. Do you know? The fuel system, it has 4 integral wing tanks and 2 integral center section tanks with a total capacity for 213,000 pounds of fuel. During normal operation, Tank 1 supplies Engine 1, Tank 3 supplies Engine 3, and the outboard wing tanks 2 left and 2 right supply the centre engine and auxiliary power unit. Centre section tanks 1A and 3A transfer fuel to Tank 1 and Tank 3 respectively. So the fuel transfer system, that's something we'll have to learn a little bit more on. The electrical system, primary electrical power of 12 kilovolts, 400 hertz generators. Generators are of advanced design, cooled by oil sprayed directly onto the windings. Each of the 3 engine-driven generators are equipped with a constant speed drive. The 4th generator, interchangeable with the other 3, is driven directly by the constant speed auxiliary power unit. Ooh. Okay. Environmental control, so we can see your high and low pressures, APU compressor, your bleed air system and so on. The landing gear, retractable landing gear, we know about that. Alternate brake systems, this is what's interesting. It's equipped with normal and alternate brake systems which are functionally identical. A hydraulic accumulator in each system ensures instant braking action. Sweet. And then we come on to the iniBuilds TriStar manual. So we've given ourselves a little bit of backstory. We've, you know, this is the aircraft, these are the all the new features that it has, the thought process that went into it, and well, now it's about understanding, well, what does the aircraft in the sim actually give us? So there's a lot of there's 146 pages in this, but they have covered a lot of ground in this. So they talk about it. The TriStar marked the final and most capable evolution of the iconic wide-body trijet series, engineered in response to growing demand for true intercontinental reach. The Dash 500 variant introduced a suite of refinements that extended the aircraft's operational range while preserving the advanced systems and passenger comfort that had defined its predecessors. Entering service in 1979, the Dash 5 featured a fuselage shortened by roughly 14 feet compared to the earlier models, which allowed for increased fuel capacity and improved weight distribution. A maximum range of about 6,000 nautical miles, it was well suited for non-stop flights across oceans and indeed continents. It could accommodate up to 246 passengers. From a system standpoint, it was ahead of its time. The flight deck incorporated one of the most advanced autopilot systems of its era, capable of Category 3B autoland, enabling fully automatic or automated landings in extremely low visibility conditions. The aircraft triple engine layout, powered by high bypass turbofans, delivered a balance of thrust, fuel efficiency, and quiet operations. The distinctive S-duct design feeding the tail-mounted engine was not only aerodynamically efficient, but also contributed to the aircraft's sleek silhouette. Cabin innovations included the wide aisles, spacious seating arrangements, and a remarkably quiet interior, thanks to the soundproofing and pressurization system, and of course, as we learned, engines pushed out. Do you know what I mean? Fewer units of the Dash 5 were produced compared to earlier variants. Its legacy endures amongst aviation enthusiasts and professionals alike. The aircraft's blend of range, reliability, and forward-thinking design cemented its place as a standout in the era of the wide-body trijets, a machine that pushed the boundaries of what long-haul air travel could be. So the aircraft, the selection checklist, just to let us know, there are two types of checklists available. We have standard and we have expert. We're going to focus on the expert ones because we want to see all the checks for this aircraft. Limitations that we can see, so the weight limits of the aircraft, maximum takeoff weight, zero fuel weight, maximum quantity for fuel, gear operating speeds, maximum gear operating speed extension, 250 knots, good to know. Flight maneuvering G-loads, clean configuration, up to 2.5 G down to -1 G. Airport operation limitations, mean runway slope plus 2 degrees. Okay, wind speed limitations, auto land limitations, they're okay. Specifications are okay. Cruise speed 525, max altitude 43,000 feet, range 5,300 nautical miles. That's insane. So we have our main panel. We've already had a quick look at this already. Nothing else jumping out at us. The overhead panel. So those sections 8 and 9, that is the flight control electrical system and the primary flight control system. All right. Center console, the captain's PMS and the first officer's PMS. That's what we're going to have to learn on the power management system. All right. The flight engineer upper panel, we've had a look at this already, so you can see all your various tests. The flight engineer lower panel, again, we've had a look to see what everything is. This is all about identifying where things are. Then, of course, we get into the paper flight bag, and this is where we can go into the engineer autocomplete features, load in our panel states, and then we have aircraft options as well. FX performance mode, certain graphical elements from the model will be omitted to improve performance. Map display screen, toggle the moving map display. Realistic parking brake, on D press the brake fully, then pull the parking lever, similar to what we have in the PMDG stuff. Brakes fully on to send brake fluid in, and then you engage the brake, pedals off, that kind of stuff, right? Altitude sync, navigation option, and then we have our alignment time for the INS. Throttle calibration is there, that's all okay. Sim brief, getting all that working, that's perfect. And then we have our ground and load sheet. Operational flight plan information, our takeoff performance, landing performance. Then we have our charts using with Navigraph, and then we have an en route moving map. So we have quite a bit there. Now, panels in the TriStar are composed of switches, selectors, indicators, and lights to control. They interact and indicate the status of various systems. It's important to understand some of the particular of switches and lights. Switches. Buttons that are pressed to activate a function. Some of the switches act as on or off controls, while others engage a certain function if the logic is correct. As such, instead of using an on-off terminology, the latched LCH term is used to indicate a switch that has been pushed in. Unlatched, UNL, is used to indicate a switch has been in the out position. Some switches have flow bars, FB, to indicate flow or fluids or electricity. Other switches have text in them, such as off, overheat, and some switches have both flow bars and text. The LCH, UNL, and FB abbreviations will be used throughout the manual. So LCH is latched, UNL is unlatched, FB is flow bar. All right, just to be aware of what are they actually talking about. You know what I mean? But yeah, Zurich Tower, good to see you. Do you, Clayton? Clayton? Some lights look exactly like switches. They have the same shape and size, making them hard to differentiate. To avoid confusion, all lights have a black border maintained in or painted in the panel around them. Switches do not have this black border, right? So what I want to know is, are you going to fly? Are you going to be a man and fly tonight in VATSIM? Or just hang off? No, not. We're nowhere near ready to fly this yet. Not in VATSIM, at least. Air conditioning. The air conditioning system provides complete control of the temperature in the cockpit, cabin and cargo holds. Air is supplied by the pneumatic system, 3 packs temperature control and the hot air distribution system. And the temperature control system modulates the pack ram air doors and turbine bypass valves to achieve the coldest required temperature for the aircraft. Hot air is then added to the cabin via the hot air distribution system. The hot air distribution system receives hot air from packs 2 and 3 and is mixed with the primary cooled air before being delivered to the applicable zone. Flight engineer's upper instrument panel, the engine bleed control cabin, duct overhead lights, engine high pressure valve switches, engine isolation valve, duct pressure. Right, so it's explaining what all these guys are. Sweet. We move on. The flight engineer instrument panel, the ECS panel, right? That's your packs, pack flow indicator and so on. Okay. Pressurization components. It's a good manual. It's explaining where everything is and what they do, right? The controls. So Captain pitot heat controls heating to the captain's left and right pitot tubes. Okay. Temperature probe heat controls heating of the left and right temperature probes. Windshield, defog, fan control, windshield heat test. That's grand. Window heats are all there. Duct fail illuminates to indicate excessive air temperatures around the duct. Anti-ice automatic mode in. Wing anti-ice valves operate automatically. Overheat illuminates to indicate excessive slat temperature. Okay. Mark, yeah, it's updated. Where is this now? In a box, man. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Anti-ice, that's all grand. The wipers, that's all grand. Auto flight. So the avionic flight control system provides automatic control throughout the whole flight and consists of the following: autopilot flight director systems, speed command auto throttle systems, and stability augmentation system. The APFDS consists of 2 independent computers, computer A and B. Computer A is associated with the captain's side, computer B associated with the first officer side. Either computer can be engaged to provide flight director orders, autopilot functions, or both. All right, so you have a command A, command B, kind of, right? There are 2 separate modes of the autopilot: control wheel steering and command. Control wheel steering. In this mode, the aircraft pitch and roll are kept constant by the APFDS, with the aircraft automatically trimming to maintain the set target. In order to change pitch or roll, the pilot must apply the desired input in the control column without having to apply any trim. And when the input is released, the aircraft will hold the new altitude or attitude. All right, that's pretty cool. So in that mode, you would roll or you would pitch the aircraft to your designated area, and then when you engage it, it'll lock it. Make sense? This mode can be thought of as set and release. Set the desired attitude and let go of the control. CWS mode will then do what it is required to keep the new attitude stable. Turbulence mode is a CWS mode. Engaging this mode will result in the autopilot changing from command or CMD to CWS and the auto throttle disconnecting. This mode will result in a steady attitude and thrust, avoiding excessive oscillations. So they've built protection into this. Lateral and vertical deviations are likely in this mode, as CWS will not maintain targets, as this is not a command mode. The command mode, the autopilot will control the aircraft pitch and roll as required to track the desired modes as set in the autopilot panel. So I'm thinking our vertical speed and also our assigned altitude, right? Takeoff going around mode is the mode the flight director will provide wings level lateral guidance unless heading mode is engaged. Pitch guidance will target an angle of attack corresponding to an airspeed of 1.25 Vs for the current flap setting, limited to a pitch attitude of 17.5. Spoilers will fully retract and DLC disabled if go around mode engaged with flaps 33 degrees. Yeah. Attitude is angle, altitude is altitude. Yeah. Speed command auto throttle system. So the speed command system, it is independent of the autopilot operation and can be used with or without autopilot being engaged. The SCS will change the engine throttle setting in order to achieve and maintain the desired speed. The system also monitors the angle of attack. As the angle of attack nears the stall angle, alpha mode engages, the command speed is disregarded and thrust is increased to help recover from a high angle of attack. So when it's like an anti-stall, effectively. The engines will spool up and try and get you out of it. Alright, okay. Auto throttle mode. So we have auto throttle controls the auto throttle engagement, and then we have thrust management auto throttle commanded by our PMS. It is the PMS we need to learn. Alright. IAS mode, and we have auto throttle mode and IAS selector. Okay. Pitch mode, VNAV, VS, they're all much the same. MAC holds identical or indicated MAC at the time of engagement. Okay. Heading mode is fine, that's grand. Navigation mode, ILS localizer and glide slope capture, LOC localizer, VOR radial capture and tracking, INS GPS or GPS capture and tracking. This switch will display either INS or GPS depending on the navigation instrument option selected in the PFB. Okay. Altitude selector knob and display window, that's grand. Then we have our control column. One is our takeoff go around switch, that's on the left hand side. On the ground engages takeoff mode, airborne engages go around mode, pitch trim, and then our autopilot disconnect. Pilot instrument panel. The AFCS mode enunciators display the autopilot mode. So it's telling you what's active. Grand. Pilot instrument panel, that's okay. SCS warnings, that's okay. This is the ticket. The PMS, the Performance Management System. The PMS is a system designed to optimize the flight and reduce fuel burn by computing and displaying various flight parameters that can be used for operating the aircraft as economically as possible. Displaying performance data for various phases of flight. Providing inputs for coupling the PMS with the autopilot and auto throttle system. So we have a couple of different modes. Takeoff. Display mode only computes and displays takeoff EPR based on inserted temperature. Page access press perf management on the ground. Then we'll have GMT. Actual GMT time is entered. EPR is your takeoff EPR displayed after all parameters in this page are entered. PR Alt. Automatically inserted from the air data computers. Gross weight requires manual entry. Round this to the nearest value of 1000. Fuel, total fuel weight requires manual entry, rounded to the nearest 100. And then we have static air temperature in degrees Celsius, requires manual entry. Okay. The flight setup, bottom of descent, distance, altitude, and speed entry. So we have bottom of descent, distance, altitude, and speed. Okay, we can see the numbers putting in there. Distance, altitude, and speed. Right. Climb. The PMS uses pitch to control airspeed according to the indicated airspeed or Mach climb schedule. Engine thrust is controlled through the auto throttle system following the climb EPR schedule. The system will automatically switch to cruise mode when altitude hold is engaged and holds the selected cruise speed. Climb 250 320 A20. So the PMS climb schedule 250 knots until 10,000, then 320 knots until reaching Mach 0.82. Then climb at Mach 0.82 until reaching cruise level. So that's what that means. Climbing 250 knots until 10,000, 320 knots until reaching Mach 8.2, and then you'll climb 8.2 until you get to your cruise altitude. That's interesting. The first value is the D-rated EPR, second value is maximum climb. 0.56, okay. Altitude optional or option. The first value alt is entered cruise altitude. It'll default to flight level 430 until manually changed by the pilot. Second value displays the current optimum cruise altitude. So current and optimum. Top of climb, distance and climb to reach the top of climb. Climb manual, grand. And then we have static air temperature and true airspeed. There's quite a bit of this, isn't there? Then we have our cruise. PMS controls the optimum cruise speed through the auto throttle system. So you can see 3 engine cruise standard, cruise speed, commanding cruise, Mach corresponding indicated airspeed, fuel remaining, fuel weight inserted in the takeoff minus fuel used, altitude, same again, top of drop, and if there was a step climb, and then you have your static air temperature, that's grand. Your en route, top of drop, so destination, let's have a look. Sorry, it's not destination, it's descent. Descent speed schedule, in this case, Mach 0.84 until indicate airspeed is 340, then descend at 340. Okay. There's going to be a bit of trying this machine out, I think. Then we have descent mode, base of descent, that's all okay. Bottom of descent. Landing, display mode, only computes and displays VTH and go around. Vertical airspeed at threshold, go around EPR, present pressure altitude. There's a lot of information there. Then we have controls, so line keys, keyboard clear. Okay, so we can interfere with all this and interact with it. Okay. APU auxiliary power unit. The APU provides electrical pneumatic power for ground operations, ground power units, air conditioning units, and so on. Flight engineer lower panel APU. NG tachometer, NG test button, TGT indicator, TGT test button, fault light, that's all okay. Fault lights don't load. The N2 turbine is outside the correct operating limit. APU generator field trips is open. Bleed air should be unlatched. Okay. Bleed air, so start switch initiates. To start the APU, press and hold until doors in transit illuminates, then release. Auto fire shutdown controls the arming of the APU. Okay. Compressor mode selector. Minimum mode, normal position for APU start, shutdown, and small bleed air demands. Normal position when there are high air demands operating either ATM, and max mode for abnormal situations. Energizer, good to see you. VTF is VREF. Yes. VPilot, good to see you. Hey, it's lazy. When does Sim Update 5 drop? No idea, buddy. They said this week, but it could be next week. Communications, that's all okay. Master radio switches, that's all okay. Right, so I think like we're not gonna go through everything obviously in one day. I think what we've kind of read up on now, we have a good understanding of what the basics of this aircraft are. Right, so our mission now is, well, we want to start this machine up. This is a 663 page manual I got from Naughty Gnome, and it is the full shebang of TWA for their L-1011, right? And there is tons of procedures, information, checklists, everything. Tons. This is absolutely deadly, right? To have all this information, this is where you really start learning a lot of stuff, right? So you can see like alternate planning charts, the weights, the speeds, climb speeds, landing, right? And if we head down the road a bit, you can see controls, high frequency radios, where they're located, horizontal situational, your HSI, RNAV annunciators, INS attitude systems, horizontal situation, how it works, right? The circuit breakers in which they belong to. Nuts, isn't it? Not trying to be silly, but you hardly go into every aircraft with the same kind of research, surely. It depends. It depends on what the aircraft is and what you're trying to learn from it. I've never flown this aircraft before, so you need to learn a little bit. Now, you don't have to. You can just jump into it and wing it. There's enough systems on the aircraft to help you out and just get you flying. But this is where you really see the benefits of these high fidelity simulations. That's what it is. It's simulation. That's what we want. Do you know what I mean? So we're certainly looking now at a high fidelity simulation, and we want to see, well, okay, if we have enough backstory in there, then when we start checking out the aircraft itself, you can kind of see where they meet. And that is class. It's just class, do you know? But there's a lot of information in here. The good thing about a POH, I mean, you don't need to read it cover to cover. You want to be able to reference things. So for example, like, you know, you're not going to get into how to perform friggin' CPR and all this, right? But you can, for example, go to a number of, you know, if you had a problem, for instance, or if you wanted to understand a system, you know, something's happening, you're not sure why it's happening, then you would refer to this kind of stuff, which makes it very, very interesting, you know? It's class. It's absolutely class. So what we'll do, I'm going to take a break for a minute, but I'm going to be showing you the iniBuilds video that they did where they're just talking about it. So we'll horse this over. Have a quick look at this for a few moments. I'm sure iniBuilds won't mind. And we'll have a gawk at this, and we'll jump back to me here now in a moment, right? So hang on now.
Lockheed.
Here we go.
It's not an Airbus, it's not a Boeing, and it's not a McDonnell Douglas Corporation aircraft. It's its own thing entirely. Lockheed were on top of the world in this period. They had just finished the SR-71. Not that they could tell anyone about it, but they were there with that level of expertise, and they thought, let's show everyone what we can do with airliners. They built airliners before in the past that had been successful, but this was their first and last jet airliner, unfortunately. Production started in 1968, first flight in November 1970, and it was introduced in April 1972. 250 aircraft were made, so, you know, quite a few, but because of this sort of need to show everyone, look what we can do, they needed to make 500 units just to break even, so they didn't even come close. Now, what did they do to try and differentiate the L-1011 from the DC-10? It has autoland, so it was the first wide-body aircraft to have autoland. It had 4 hydraulic systems, direct lift control, which we'll look at later in the sim, really sturdy construction. So people who worked on the L-1011 said it was just beautifully made, like really, really strong. At the rear, it had an S duct, which meant that the engine was lower down, so in case of an engine failure, it was much better to fly on the takeoff roll. And it even had stairs in the lower that you could kind of load into and go into a lower lounge area. Now, speaking of that S duct, connected to that was the Rolls-Royce RB211, another pro and con of the L-1011. Why? So Lockheed really hitched their horse to Rolls-Royce in this period. The RB211 was, you could call it a next generation engine, so it's got N1, N2 and N3 still used in Rolls-Royce engines today, and loads of other innovative features that made it remarkably fuel efficient and powerful, but it was delayed to the point that it caused Rolls-Royce to go bankrupt, and that caused even further delays on the program, putting it behind the DC-10. When it came into service, it was a fantastic engine, but unfortunately those delays were critical because it meant that it entered service after the DC-10 and lost out onto that contract with American Airlines, where they were looking for an aircraft that was not quite as big as the Jumbo, but more fuel efficient than older generation aircraft. This leads us to the...
So we'll watch more of that video as we kind of progress through this this kind of pilot training series. But what I want to do now, I want to jump into the aircraft, because we've learned so far about some of the systems. So we're going to start off here with the PFB, the paper flight bag, right? And what we have here in our main menu, we have the Flight Engineer Autocomplete, this page, so we can click Autocomplete each of these stages, or indeed you can click into them and have a look to see, well, what are the checks that this Auto Flight Engineer is going to do. And this is where the aircraft will hold your hand. It'll do most of the work in the background for you, so you don't need to worry about it, all right? Couple of options here. We can change the brightness, we can change the cabin lighting, and we can go down here to our panel states, cold and dark, on APU, on GPU, or ready for takeoff. The helper, this is our top of descent calculators here. Glide path is all there. Our aircraft settings, this is where we can set, is it metric or imperial weight, FX performance, realistic parking brake, we'll turn that on. Keyboard input lock, don't need it. Auto set GA EPR bugs, yes. Map display, I want it. That gives us this screen down here, right? What else do we have? Navigation options, so we can just go by RadNav. This is going to be using kind of VOR flying, ADF and VOR, where it's going to use radio frequencies and you follow the needle effectively. If we just go with an INS system, that's going to use the INS. We can just use GPS on its own, where we're only flying with GPS. I think for a lot of people starting out, this is going to be the easiest option, whereby you just tell the aircraft, listen, follow that GPS, my flight plan is in there, all the procedures are loaded in, departures, arrivals, all that jazz, and then you manually put in your altitudes. All right, Lee side, good to see you. Byron, good to see you. Pardon me. Do you use both autopilots for auto landing? Couldn't tell you yet, Mark, but we will learn. We will learn. Or you have a combination of both the INS and a GPS. This allows you to keep using the INS, but also then couple that with your modern navigational procedures, like your SIDS and STARS. All right. Moving on then, we have INS drift. Think of like your gyro drift. The thing will actually drift. You'd have to resync it. Import SIDs and star waypoints. Yep. Altitude sync. I want them all rather than going around and using a whole load of different buttons. Boat we're on, but it wasn't tracking the ILS very well. Okay. And then we have the INS alignment time. Instant, fast, or realistic. Throttle calibration is there. Connection to third parties such as SimBrief and Navigraph. We have our audio settings, including built-in noise cancellation if you want it. And then we go to our ground options. So our ground options currently, the aircraft is in a cold and dark state. If we click on the chocks, we can say, right, pitot covers, engine covers. We're going to remove these. We're going to close the cowl doors and get rid of the aircraft technicians. The pitot covers we'll get rid of here as well. The chocks, we'll leave the chocks in place. Our mission today, we're going to start up the aircraft here, get the APU up and running, mess around with the systems, get an engine start. That's as far as we'll go with this today, right? We have options here then when it comes to the aircraft weathering. We have a built-in pushback, cold weather accumulation, and then all our doors, open all, close all, and then information. And we can connect things like a jetway, the ram truck, luggage, catering, the AC cart, and the GPU. I've gone with the GPU. Stairs are connected, and we have the main door open. All right. You also have a click button here, just remove before flight. That'll remove everything, and away you go. Strap, good to see you, bud. Your load sheet, we can sync this directly from SimBrief. And that's going to load it in. So I've put in a flight from Shannon up to Dublin, and that's going to show you your fuel, cargo. It loads it instantly, and you can see where everything is loaded inside in the aircraft itself. All right. Then we go to our operational flight plan. It's Shannon to Dublin, so you can see your fuel usage, what's needed. You can also send this data to your INS as well, because there's a couple of ways in which we can find it. If we look at our flight route, right? So if we say, right, Shannon Airport, this is where you're going to get north 5242.1, west 008 555. Now that's just to the airport. We could give it a stand location. I'm going to show you how all that works. And then we have all our various different waypoints in here, including our top of climb and then our top of drop or top of descent. All right. That's where all that is. Our takeoff performance, this is where we can go in and set our flaps. We can sync this to the aircraft weight, calculate it, then we can go ahead, set bugs, and also the EPR, and we'll get all our takeoff data card in here. Then we have our landing preferences. Again, we will calculate all of this, the runway condition, is your anti-skid on, and so on. Access to your charts, this is going to be important. So if we load in Shannon, we want to have a look at the airport, right? So we can have a look at the airport briefing, but if we go to this one, parking stands and coordinates, this is where it's important. So we're down here parked on 23, I think it is. If we have a look at the stands and coordinates, we're parked on 23. And if we look down here and say, well, right, stand 23, see the coordinates, this is how we're going to talk to the INS and say, hey, this is exactly where we are. All right. So that's how we do that. And then we have a nice en route map here as well, in which we can then change, you know, is it standard? Is it looking at VF4? Is it looking at IF4? We can change all that ourselves. All right. So it's just a nice map to have there, and that's looks like it's using Navigraph for that. All right. So menu, we'll keep it onto this. We're going to have a quick look around with the aircraft because we want to put some power into it. We know we have the ground power unit already connected, so we're going to jump over here to the flight engineer station. So before we get started, usual kind of tricks when it comes to the aircraft. The landing gear is in the down position, the parking brake is set, and the flaps are in the up position. So when we click on the button, you know, we're not going to be, when we click the power on, things won't be moving. You can click on your icon on Navigraph, it gives exact coordinates. Hold fire. Is that using the charts or which? In the app, not in the plane. In the app on Windows. Ah, okay, right. So you can do that through Navigraph itself. Sweet, nice one. You can also do it with the GPS. But what we're going to start off with, we're going to get some power into this aircraft. So before we do anything, we have our battery master switch. We're going to activate this now. And we can see now we're getting some information coming into the aircraft. And we can go ahead and turn on our external power. So we're running off the GPU outside. All right. Now, when it comes to our checklists, we're going to say level is going to be expert. right? And here's where we do our cockpit safety. So circuit breakers are checked, engine and APU, we're going to check all those. Continuous ignition unlatched, and you can see where all this is. Unlatched, right? So we'll go through all that now in a moment. I want to... where is this now? I want to do a couple of tests before we go, right? So, our APU test switch, so we can go ahead and test this. Press and hold. And we can see the lights all coming alive. Then we go to our engine fire detection test. So we're going to test the A channels. A lights up, turn it off. B, we should get the bell. There's the bell, and cut out the bell. Our pylon overheat. What else do we have here? Our engine turbine cooling air. Probably have to be running. Wheel well, test, and test. We'll go with system A, system B, or both. That's working. Brake temperature tests. They're working. We're coming down here to our oral warning tests. Aircraft over speed. Hear the clicking. Cabin pressure. There's a beep. Unsafe landing. Unsafe takeoff. And then flaps. Alright. Oral tests are all okay. Passenger oxygen is okay. Smoke detection will test on both systems. There's the bell. Fire compartment short test on our squib, and then fire detection and smoke detection. That's all good. Wastewater is all okay. We can go ahead and say, yeah, we're flight number, pilot identification, all that jazz is there. What else do we have here now? Fuel jettison. Don't press that button, whatever you do. We'll come down here and get some lights on here as well. Easing out. Okay, so we're looking good there. Let's come over to see, can we start up this APU? So our APU switch, we'll turn on the master switch. Mode is in minimum. So if we press and hold the start switch, we should see doors opening or doors in transit. So press and hold. Not seeing the doors in transit. When would the flap alarm go off? Are they still in test? Auto shutdown, bleed air. Okay, so I've an issue here with the APU, so I'll have to go off and checklist this one. So cockpit safety, standby power check, battery, engine and APU fire test, we've done that. External electrical power connection, GPU is already connected. APU start, APU master switch is on. Bleed air shut off valve needs to be unlatched. Now is that's unlatched. Let me see here. Compressor mode selection set to minimum. One tank booster pump needs to come on. That's okay. So booster pump is in. Tank 2 valve set to on. Start switch. There we go. So it says don't load, doors in transit. And if we have a look at the APU control above it, we see our NG starting to rise. And we can see our turbine gas temperature starting to rise as well. Scruffy Tam, good to see you, buddy. Okay, so that's warming up. When the APU is complete, APU generator needs to be turned on, which is over here. So we'll wait for these to be fully ready. Once we get to 100%, we should be ready. There it should be. So we want to go ahead and turn on that and turn on that. APU generator field check. Bus type breakers need to close. bus breakers, air conditioning, fuselage isolation, check. It's in. Cross bleed valve switch, on and on. Pack flow control. Pack auto manual. Okay, it's been auto. Ground control auto. Hot air isolation valve unlatched. Area overheat, zone temperature, wing anti-ice, and so on and so forth. Alright. Now what we can do, we can double check with this. We can go over to our trusty and handy autocomplete. So if you have a look, the pre-flight, the fuel panel needs to be set properly. So there's an issue there. So we can go over and have a look at our fuel panel and figure out what did we do wrong, right? So tank 2 pumps, tank 1 pumps. They look good to me. And you can see these are now all in the green. Alright, so that's our pre-flight. Next up is going to be engine start, doors, galley power, bleed panel, and all the jazz. Right? Thing Wizard, very good afternoon. Jason is here, good to see you. I've no idea, Jason. No idea when it's out. They said soon though, you know. Okay, so the door lights need to be out and the bleed panel configuration, so it's not happy about those. So we are running on the GPU or on the APU. You can hear it back here. And you'll actually see it. So there's the APU exhaust. Great sounds, isn't there? Rodrigo Pinchari, good to see you, buddy. Okay, we continue. Let's have a look. So bleeds, right? High pressure on. They're all on, right? Cross bleeds are on. Hot air, leave it off. They're all fine. Hydraulics. So these are down as off. So let's go ahead and we have A1, B2, C2. They're looking good now. Pressure is off. Electrical bus is turned off. And we have our auxiliary power unit. So external power. I wonder what would happen if I press that. We're okay. Ground service APU, we can flick that to up. And we should get a reading here to see what voltage we're getting. Okay, and then the inverter is reading. Gens would be nothing. APU, that's reading. And external power is there, but we want to disconnect from that. So we're going to keep power on the APU. So if we come back into our ground, we're going to remove the ground power unit. Come back over here, and when we look at it to see, you know, is there power still coming out of the ground power unit? It's disconnected. Nice. Sumner, take it easy, buddy. Our AC pumps. So let's have a look here. Our AC pumps. Engine bleed control. APU. So they are on. Cool or warm. Why is that lad moving around? We need to figure that one out as well. Isolation valve, avionic air, cargo heat, temp selection, cabin pressure. That all looks kind of grand. Fire detection is grand. PTU? Yeah, these guys are down, so AC pumps on. And they're coming alive now. Right. PTU, power takeoff unit? Is that what you're saying? Would be awkward if you lost power when disconnecting the GPU. Who's done that before, right? Careful disconnecting the GPU considering the fuel dump earlier on, right? Power transfer unit. Ah, power transfer unit. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's go back to Mr. Man over here. Menu. So, door lights. So they want us to close it. Am I saying doors? So let's close the door. I wonder will that lad kind of Vaminus. Bleed panel configuration. So it's still not happy with our bleeds. Hot air is off. RAM is on auto. Ground control, that's better. What else do you want to do? High pressure. This guy here is jumping around. Ah, they were latched. I wonder, was that the issue? Yeah, they were latched. All right, so then it's going to be an engine start, right? So in order to start this, let's check here. We have our engine selectors down here. What is this? What is the situation for engine start? Cockpit safety, overhead, engine start. Oh, we better do our INS alignment first. But I just want to see if APU set packs 1 and 3 off. Engine 2 ground. So engine 2, engine 1, and engine 3. 2, 1, and 3. All right. So what we want to do, we're going to come up here and turn on these INSs. So we're going to go to align, and align. All right. Pitot, they're off. That's okay. Lights, position lights can come on. Wing light, come on. Turn these guys on. No smoking. And avionics coming on as well. That's enough to keep us going. Okay, so we do have some information down here. So what I want to do with our INS, we're going to go into position mode, right? And we want to put in our stand coordinate. So if we look at our charts here, we're going to say we're on stand 23. So it's north 52, 41.5. So we're going to go north 52, 41.5, insert. And the rest of it then is going to be west 008, 54.9. So it's going to be west 008, 54.9. 549, insert. So we've now just told this system where we're at, and we wait until we get a green light. Here's our green light. We can now move this into nav mode, and that's us now synced to our position. This gadget now knows where we are. Yeah, it now knows where we are. So if we wanted to do this once again, you have to do it for each of these INSs, right? Murph, those covers don't auto set the switches. The covers don't auto sweat. What do you mean, Malky? So we're going to do a new one. So we're going to be north 52.4 15, insert. West 008 49. No, 54, you muppet. West 008 54.9 insert. I'll wait for the little green light to come on for our second INS. There's a green light. That's the nav. On the overhead, the covers don't auto set switches. What do you mean the covers don't auto set switches? I'm a little bit lost. At 3 fault is steel. Attitude 3 fault. Emergency lights. Arm on. You need to set the switches first, closing it. I'm almost certain you don't, lads. They were set to off, look. Off. And if I close these switches and reopen them, they're reset. Bearing in mind this is version 1.03. Yes. Look at you there doubting me. Right, what was it doing? Right, number three. Come on down here now, Jemima, and we're going to put you into position mode. And we're going to go ahead and say we are north 52415. 52415. Insert. West 008 549. 549. Insert. Wait for the green. Nav mode, and that's us now fully aligned. All three INSs are fully aligned. So basically, lads, just to kind of recap that, your stand coordinate, we're parked down here at 23. We look at our charts and it says, well, this is the coordinate for 23. We pop all those into the INS. You don't need all three INS. One is enough to fly with. Or indeed, if you're going to go the GPS route, well, you can get the information from your GPS. All right? So you can go over to here. And this will give you a lat long reading once it acquires satellites. Alright? Okay. Navigation not initialized. Set the initial track first. This is where it gets a little bit kind of pernickety, but we'll have a look. We're going to go over to here, back into our official flight plan, and we can have a look at send to INS. This is going to send 2 waypoints into the INS. Let's have a look. And it says here, waypoints imported. Yeah, there should be. So that's all done. All right. Now, the next trick that we need to do, we need to tell the system we're in this location. We want to start from this location, right? So if we go in and look at all our different waypoints. Where is this now? So here's all our different waypoints. We need to tell this machine we're starting off from waypoint 1. Alright? Fuel system warning. We haven't started the engines up yet, so I'm not overly worried. It's just the fuel pressure's low. I think we're good. Right, so how do we do this again? How do we set this up? Let me think. I'm going to go from here to there. So, track change from 0, waypoint 1. So I think we just put in waypoint 1. Is it? Oh, balls. Yeah, there we go. No, that's completely wrong. Track change 01. Why is that going to 12? Oh, I think we're good. Waypoint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, we're grand. Fuel getting to the APU. I think so. Now we want to do this on... Jesus. We want to do this on the other guys as well. So we're going to say track change 01. I don't think I need to do this for all of them, but we'll just double check. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so next is going to be firing up the engines for the sheer crack. Now we can put in our takeoff performance. So we will say flaps 10. We're going to sync all our weight and balance. We're going to calculate. And we're going to set the bugs and EPR. So all this comes in. That's all set. Shouldn't that have gone over? Takeoff initial climb. So we need to see gross weight, is it? 342.5. 342. Oh, why is that working? Set GMT first. 1208 Zulu. Well, it's alright. 1208. Aha, good man yourself. Right, gross weight 342. Gross weight. Fuel 37.8. $37 we'll call it. Oh Jesus. Balls 378. There we go. What else? What was SAT again? SAT? Static air temperature, wasn't it? It was static air temperature. Let's see. Diddly-dee-dee-dee. You need to re-enter the GMT. Why'd you say that? It's a nice gotcha. Yeah. Hey, PS Miranda, good to see you. Now, what are we saying? 18, isn't it? That was good to me. Right. 633 is what it's giving me. 632. We'll take it. It's only one out. Right, what else you want to do here? Nay, hey. That's all grand. Radio transponder. We'll just stick it on TA for the moment. Weather. Test. Here be our weather screen. So test mode works. Now weather on the ground shouldn't really be using it. Map, test off. I don't know why there's a tilt. Tilt to 0.3. Maybe is that a safety thing at airports? Tilt. Keep her level there. And just don't stand in front of the airplane. You know what I mean? Right. What are things you want to do? We need to press this button for the flight director. So let me see. Indicate airspeed. Go ahead and bring this gadget up. Flight directors. We will call it INS. We will go for our toga. That gives us our pitch profile. Altitude was set kind of standard for this neck of the woods. Can this work? That's heading. Good man, Murphy. I set 9,000 initially. Okie dokie. Auto throttle, leave it off. VNAV, VS, that's all okay. INS will stick to it. That'll flash and worry. There we go. INS is already selected. Okay. Some lights. Right, Jemima. Let's see what happens here for an engine start, shall we? Let me see. Engines, continuous, valves, side windows. Now, how are we fixed with the packs for engine start? Let's see here now. Packs. Hot air. Let's see here now. Pack control. Automatic. Cross bleeds. They're currently off, so I think we're okay. Right, engine start switches. What did we say? 213, wasn't it? Let's see what happens. We'll go on this one. Ground start release. Ground start release, I don't know. Continuous ignition and starter. Is that right? Windmill air start off. Continuous ignition. Ground start release. Think of it now, Murph. Think. That's the fuel and igniter, right? Engines 1, 2, and 3. Ground start assistant. Valve open. Continuous ignition. Ground start release. No. So is it just this and that? No, you're missing something terribly critical. What are we forgetting? Remove the chocks. Remove and close. Right. What am I trying to figure out here now? The engine start switch. So there's got to be a problem with the bleeds. First start engine 2. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah, and what is it? The bleeds? Oh wait, hang on. Sure, we can use engineer fella. Hang on a second. Engine start. He seems happy with that. Bleed panel.
Hey Captain, got that flow done.
Thanks very much. Right, let's have a look here. So we're missing a trick. Checklist, Murph. Engine start. If APU air is used for the next start, yeah, that's okay. So get up here. All INS is done. Transponder, seatbelt sign, anti-collision lights, start ignition, A or B. Well, that's... she's in A, right? Door lights done. Galley power, unlatch the switches. They're off, right? Fuel pump. They're on. Fuel pumps are on. If APU set minimum mode. Bleed. Right, I think that has solved my own issue, hasn't it? We'll find out now together. I didn't use the old bleed air switch. Okay, N3 Horizon. RPM is coming up. Go ahead and launch some fuel.
Oh, Jesus.
RPM be climbing. Fuel ignition. You didn't hit the start switch. I didn't hit the start switch. Let's try that again. Right, number 2, valve and start. Is it? The delay is is the delay bad? Or is it the delay with me? Right, we'll try it again. Right, let's actually spool down. Valve open. Let's see. Pack flow valve has closed. No, they're okay. I think. There she goes. That was weird. Alright, EPR's coming up. Come on, Betsy. Alright, starter switch disengaged. That is the sound of a beautiful engine. Why is this lad still there? Rid of him. What did you say? 2, 1, and 3, wasn't it? Cyber Dammy, good to see you. Yeah, there's a bit to learn with this, but like, it's like everything. Once you kind of do it once or twice, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Alright, there's fuel. We're sounding much better now. Still have a fuel system warning. And finally, we'll go with number 3. Oh yeah. What does it sound like in the cabin? Wait till we spill her up. Sounds pretty nice. Decent sounds, isn't there? Alright. 1, 2, and 3 now becoming stable. Let's have a quick look up here. Continuous ignition. We'll go through the checks for that here now in a moment. And the skid will turn on. Takeoff. Fasten seatbelts. Anti-collision light should be on. Okay. Engines be good, or at least they're running. Let's go back into our lead panel configuration. Now let's have a look here. So we're saying them lads.
Hey Cap, that flow is all set.
Okay, so lead panel, electrical panel, flaps 10, APU off. Right, let's try that again. So these now come on. Hydraulic panel. AC pumps are what they should be doing, not right? Auto. Auxiliary power unit. We should be able to take these from the gens now, shouldn't we? So the gens are reading juice. So we should be able to turn off the auxiliary power unit. Right. Close. Tiebreaker. No, I shouldn't have to open that. And then APU, we should be able to good look in the cup, shouldn't we? Because we're using... Yeah, we're using all of these. Alright, APU, bleed off. Power off. Gens are up and running. Little bit of a drop there. That's interesting. Bleed panel configure.
Just got that flow done. She's all set.
Flaps need to be set for 10.
Flaps 10.
Flaps 10. It's still not happy with the bleed panel look.
Going through the engine startup flow. One moment, please, Captain.
And let's see what he says here.
Captain, that last flow is done. Aircraft is set.
Okay.
After engine start checks. Roger. Doing those now.
So see the way it's, I don't know, is that a bug for engine start? No idea. Right, well they're all done. Flaps are set. So line up.
You're welcome. All set.
Packs.
Flow was completed as requested.
Good man, Jimmy. Now, what else do we need to do? Isn't it pitch trim? Isn't that important? Stab trim 4.64. 4.64. So how do we set 4.64 into our stab trim? Speed brake, that's fine. How do we move that ticket? And off PTU. Aha. Stop pressing buttons. PTU should be off now. And we turn off the AC pumps, will that be right? Brake accumulator as well, okay. Pressure's looking okay. Yeah, that's looking grand. What I'm trying to figure out here is I can't check the, or I can't move this guy. There's no control lock in place. So how does one move that? What's worse than cutting your finger with a knife? Cut your finger with a knife you just cut chili with. Ouch. Yeah, this doesn't want to move. At all. APU have a stop button. The APU is off. Well, I assume it's off. The orange button near it says Briggsy. Hitch disconnect. I didn't see this issue before, no? How does one set this? Now we could just set the bugs and EPR. But why can't I change the pitch? That's a good one, isn't it? So our stab trim needs to be 4.6. It's not going to like that. She'll give out to me now when I go try and fly this. But sure, look it. We'll say nothing. She'll be grand. Push us back there now, Jemima, and we see what happens. Brakes. Off the brakes. We'll find out now fairly quickly. Use a mouse wheel. Won't budge. Tried everything. That could be a bit of an issue. We'll find out together. Be the Janie. Alright, stop her there. Pushback stopped, and we shall take over, and let's see what happens. I wondered, is there something up here? AOA. That's No, takeoff is set. That's correct. Pitch. Aha, right. We did the thing. 4.6. Maybe that was my issue. Right, we'll find out. It'll probably scream at us anyway, but let's see what happens. So it looks like the autopilot had it locked out. I can now move it because we have VS again. Let us see, friends. Let us see. Oh, Jesus, look at it. Man, it's pretty, isn't it? It's freaking huge. Right. Now, I've often said this, but any airplane that kind of kills, kills you on takeoff, it's a worthy airplane, do you know what I mean? Let's see what happens here, friends. V-speed, we're going to set this for kind of like an auto climb. We want to follow our INS. And let's see what happens here. We'll back taxi. Beautiful aircraft, it really is, Dougal, isn't it? Good to see you, Dougal. Hope you're well, buddy. Look at the state of it, man. It's freaking huge. The British Airways have one of these. Yeah. They surely did. Look at that, look. Right. Not quite sure what happens next, but sure, listen, we'll wing it, you know. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Be grand. Oh, it's very fancy, isn't it? Oh, do you know what we need to do? Check the out reversers. Reversers work. Interesting. Jeez, the sounds are deadly. Right, let's see what happens. I still have a feeling she might give out to us, but sure, look it. Easy now. Big machine. Mr. Mini Mike, good to see you. Stop the plane, you want to get off? Too late! We're going! Easy now, Jemima. Okay. We shall point it in the direction we want to go, and then let's see what happens. Are we ready? Power coming in. Engine stable. Toga! Oh, the roars. Airspeed alive. The needle is moving. 80 knots. Easy now. Rotate. Oopsie daisy. Come on, Betsy, you can do it. You're up. Jesus, look. Easy now. Left turn. Speed 170. Power's easing off. Autopilot on. V-speed 220. INS engaged. Now the question here is, will it fly me to where it is I need to go? V-speed. INS. INS is on. It looks like we're going the right way. Speed coming up on 200.
Flaps 4, flaps 0.
Flaps in. Jeez, we are flying! This is a great success. Jesus, look at this. Right, speed, up the hill. Let's call her 250. Oh yeah! Oh heck yeah! Oh, this is terribly nice altogether, isn't it? Don't mind all the red lights and screaming, right? Climb. Okay. We're doing the right thing. This is working. Don't know how it's working, but sure, listen. This is great. Keep her lit. Don't crash into Home and Park. Ah, look at that machine, look. Beautiful. Ah, that's gorgeous. That is very pretty. Yeah, out of Shannon. Okay, so it says 9,000. We'll go up a bit more. Go up the hill here. I'd say we're doing something right. Clem, good to see you. I was going to the Shamrock livery. It's just the Delta one has that kind of chrome stainless steel business, and it looks friggin' gorgeous, doesn't it? Right, so let's have a look at this now. Right, so we are following our INS, which is perfect. Now, what if I wanted to say track change, go direct now to number 2? It doesn't work like that, does it? The motherland requires the Shamrock one. You're going to 2 anyway. Yeah, but would it not do like a turn direct? No? Alert. Uh-oh. Alert! Wolf to Fears here, good to see it. Okay, so what if we take over now and we call it heading mode? And we horse in a right-hand turn? Because I'm just trying to say, like, ATC, this is where it'll get interesting. Yeah, no, she's good. And go back into INS. There we go. That's takeoff. What's the next one? Flight setup. Climb 250. So climb 250 up to 320 knots. Or 250 to 10,000. 320 up until we hit Mach 8.2. And then, yeah, your altitude 430 optimum. That needs to go in manually. So if we say 190. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Oh, we're turning. She's following the gadget, look. Ah, this is brilliant. Jesus, then lads, we didn't explode. For that to work, you need to hit TM and VNAV. Ah. So 2 was a... yeah, okay. So let's have a look at the next one. If I were to say, give me direct to Durham, well, that's kind of the same. Jeez, it flies really smoothly, doesn't it? Ah, look at the state. Jeez, lads, that is only gorgeous. Gorgeous. That's very pretty. What are your thoughts on that? Isn't it savage? Beautiful. Right. So the good news is we're able to take off and all lives accounted for. This is fantastic news. But alas, we need to draw a halt to our TriStar flyage because we need to start planning now for tonight's VATSIM flight. Switch FMS to climb mode. Alright, so how do we do this now? How does one do that? Climb mode, you say? Okay, there's 19,000. It's going to be cruise now. You can hear the oxygen. That's cool, isn't it? Ah, lads, this thing is deadly. Will it get us into all sorts of trouble? Yes. Trying to fly this in VATSIM? Yes. Lots of trouble, but it's so pretty. What an awesome, awesome machine. Fantastic. Right. We need to stop it there for the L TriStar, but we will get back into this again next week because we need to really figure out a proper engine startup. But that's the first time I've done all that. So we need to figure out the proper kind of setup for all this. You know what I mean? So, right, what we're going to do, the A320, that's what we're taking out tonight for our fly. Now, what are we looking for here? A320, is it the IAE? I think it is. I think it's them. Save. And we're flying out of Frankfurt tonight. Right? There's someone. So we're flying out of Frankfurt. This is Aerosoft scenery, so we'll give it a second to load in. Now, Frankfurt, very busy airport. Is this going to be mad busy flying out of here? Murph, check my Discord post. Roger. Roger. We shall go down to VATSIM. Let's have a look now. Where'd you post it, Dougal? Bum, 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 bum. VATSIM Thursday. Where's this now? EGDF to EL. EGDF to E. Yeah, where's that now? Aha. All right, I see here. Uno momento. So, ding, another legendary flight. That's what we're doing tonight. Let's have a look here now. SimBrief link is to last week's route. Okay, that's grand. Guys, as my cross-the-pond destination airport is also our LAMD, you now have full Madrid briefing as supplied by VATSIM Spain. Ah, nice. Nice, nice. Let's go and have a look. Which is, this looks very fancy. Right. Charts, scenery. Charts available from, okay, so we have charts. Scenery, we have, I'm using the default one. Scenery is the GSX profiles listed here. Okay. Ensure you have your proper nav data. Okay. Welcome to Madrid, 15 kilometers northwest of the city. Large, diverse airport. Okay. Before you begin, the airport layout. Right. Divided into 7 main sectors, terminals 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we have the cargo ramps, and then we have general aviation. Yeah, Dan, got us sorted, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Right, gate availability as per across the pond. We asked you to keep occupancy to a minimum. Grand gates and stands, standard instrument arrivals. Okay, it's a big ass airport. Yeah. More information can be found here. En route control, Lisbon control will transfer you to Madrid. Mostly about across the pond, but very useful. 100%. For landings, you'll be transferred to the tower and established on the localizer. Okay. Taxi. Pilot briefing. Standard taxi routes also described. Okay, that's fine. Right, nice one. Excellent, Dougal. Excellent. I've pressed a button I shouldn't have. Man, Murphy, you big idiot. Right, we'll browse that for sure, and we'll load into Frankfurt here at the moment. Where now? I couldn't tell you. This is a big ass airport as well. Let's have a look, shall we? Look at the gates out here, look. We'll aim for somewhere in the middle, I suppose. We're definitely not cargo. We'll jump up here. Gate small, gate heavy. 36. In there now, we have a look. A is Lufthansa at Frankfurt. Ah, okay. Okay. Now, I didn't connect any of my wind control gear. I'll do, well, no, I need to do all that. Do. Let's just see if this all works first and the airport works and all the jazz. That's the main thing, right? Load the Phoenix. Be Janie. Okay, she's a little bit stuttery, but we'll try and build up. Oh, the stutters are real here. We'll try and build up a bit of scenery cache. Jesus, look at this airport. Most likely departure runway is 18, more down to the left if you want. Okay. So this is the Aerosoft Frankfurt. Lufthansa. That's interesting the way they did that. There's a blatant security risk. Jesus, lads, this place is huge. Beautiful detail on the building, look. Train. Okay. One of the remote stands. Sounds like a plan. Yeah. Alright, we're just kind of rambling around here, building up some of the scenery cache. This is a huge airport. Isn't this the new terminal? Terminal 3. Ah, this is all brand new shampoo. It was actually placed in where they were building it, look. That's mad, isn't it? One thing I will say, German ATC, incredibly efficient, but like, there are no nonsense kind of a bunch of lads. So like, just, I'm happier we're doing a departure rather than an arrival. You know what I mean? Roy, take it fierce handy. Have a good day, buddy. So we reckon a departure off 18. Potentially. That'll be okay. What a cool airport. Very heavy on frames. I did, Malky. I did. There's a configuration file for it. I can kind of reduce things. It's not too bad. It'll be grand as we get out of here. I'm just trying to build up the scenery cache for it so it works a little bit smoother. You know what I mean? Runway 25 center in real life now. Okay. Why do they 25 center? All right. So we'll blast off out this direction. Okay. Right. So what have we to do? We need to go ahead and get our plan. The planation is, oh my God, bashing me heel. Oh Jesus, me heel. Right. Group flights. Ding. Let us ramble. Sim brief dispatch. Let's refresh this. So this is what our flight is going to look like. Currently in German VATSIM mentor program to learn on VATSIM. No way, Commander Balosh. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to be Firefly 235. We're going to be in an A320 with the IAE engines. And 2 hour 40. This is a long ass flight. 2 hour 40. It's invalid for runway 25 center. Okay, so our citizen stars are going to be a bit of an issue. Okay, let's look at the old weather forecast. So wind. Well, temperature, I suppose, first. So into Germany. And we'll go, that's degrees, that'll do. This evening. So we're blasting off at around 10 or 12 degrees. And our arrival is going to be 20 degrees, right? ADA says 07 and 18, but they're operating 25s. Okay. Yeah, we'll check out the citizen stars later on. We'll have a look at a couple of different options, though. Right, wind speed. 8 o'clock. It's coming in from the north. And it doesn't seem to be changing. Okay. SID is going to be the ENIC 3 Foxtrot. ENIC 3 Foxtrot. And Google, generate that. Okay, so the wind is relatively calm, coming in from the north. In Madrid, when we get down there, it's coming in from the south. All right. At cruise altitude, along the way, what are we expecting? Put that into knots. A bit of a tailwind, then it changes over the Alps, then another bit of a tailwind, and then a headwind. 30 knots of a headwind. Okay, it'll be interesting. Cloud cover. Let's have a look. Cloud cover. So, just looking all right in Germany. Very cloudy in Madrid tonight. And with that, yes, there's heavy rain and thunderstorms hitting Madrid. Where's that going after? Oh, yeah. So we're flying into a bit of a thunderstorm. Sure, this is brilliant, right? So we have an idea of the weather, right? Relatively calm in Germany. We're expecting to fly into a bit of messy stuff once we get down to Madrid. So that's going to be a bit of crack, right? So let's have a look at it here. Expect runway 32 right down into Madrid, right? So if you open up our Navigraph, I'll have a look now to see. Rain in Spain on the plane. Very good. Let's go over and bring this guy in. We will unload and then import a flight from SimBrief. And this is the ticket here. Okay, so out of Frankfurt, we're going to be heading down to the south, out over the, we'll come close to the Alps, over the Pyrenees, and then we're expecting all sorts of mad weather coming in. So into Madrid, we're expecting what did we say it was? 3-2 right. That doesn't seem right because the wind is coming from the south. So I'd say we'll come in the other way. But either way, let's have a look at our charts here. So our departure out of Frankfurt, it's an immediate, wait now, Anchor 3 Foxtrot. Transition altitude, contact landing radar when advised, radar required, SIDS, also noise abatement procedures, close in obstacles, wind shear, that's okay, operational runway, that's okay, speed 250, below 10,000. Initial climb reference is going to be 5,000 feet. So takeoff, immediate turn, max 210. Then we're down to up to 220, and then we're away. Fair enough. Our approaches, let's look for an ILS approach from, see, I don't think we're going to get that, but anyway, from Rugby, 3-2 right. Let's go in and have a look. So our star, is it Banev? Where does our star start? Tursa. Right, so we're coming in from Tursa. So there's Tursa, grand. So from Tursa, we head her in. 13,000, between 10 and 14,000, not below 10, not below 8, and then we'll pick up our initial approach fix at Perales. Where is Perales? Here's Perales. There's a hold there if we need it. And then we're in. Missed approach, climb runway heading, 5 miles out, turn left, maximum speed 185 knots on the 290 heading, out by 11 miles at 4,000 feet, turn left again. Jeez, look at the missed approach here. This is mad, isn't it? Look at the missed approach here. That's fantastic looking. Deadly. Would it be category 2 if it's bad weather? Maybe. Same kind of crack again anyway. Missed approach is the same. So they want to drag it over here to ROFIX. So that's how it looks like. Map. ROFIX is where she is. And then we hold. All right. We'll see how that one goes. It's a fair bit of flying on this, lads. This is going to be a huge flight. We should be talking to a nice bit of ATC along the way. Frankfurt, that's the main thing to get out of the busy airspace, but it's an immediate departure. We're heading down to the south. Then we're out of there relatively quick. Out through France. We're not going to get ATC in France. Sure, they have the day off. And then it's into Spain. And we picked up from Tersa, and then it's going to be out into our initial approach fix, which we're thinking is Perales. And then it's going to be in. The missed approach then is a massive loop way off to our left-hand side. There is a VOR in here that we can track the barrage. Is it barrages? Boeing or Airbus for butter landing? Ooh, don't know. Oi, respect the French, please. I do, but listen, they love having days off. Madrid only operates the 3-2s. Okay. All right, there's a bit to this, but in terms of... we have a lot of en route time. Right, so we've 2 tricky bits, and what's going to make the landing challenging, we can now expect bad weather. Do you know what I mean? The initial point fix for this star, well, it has down here, look. There's actually 2 of them. Balls. Rugby. Okay, so we have 2 of them. Where will we hit first? Oh, we'll hit Rugby first. All right, okay, so it's Rugby, and then it's in. Well spotted. Malky, do you know where I'd be if it wasn't for you? I'd be lost, right? Where did Murph go? Don't know. Yeah, we haven't seen him in weeks. Okay, so that's... I don't want to say this is fairly straightforward. It is not straightforward, but we can kind of visualize what's going to be happening later on. There'll be a bit of a challenge tipping out of Frankfurt. Expect clearance required for crossing runway 07. Stop at category 2 or 3 holding points. Okay. In the event of a missed right turn from rapid taxi exit, that's okay. Runway incursion alert system is installed. All right. We're going to be up here, and then we'll be taxiing down this neck of the woods. This is going to be a fun flight. Definitely. Now, once we get into Madrid, we're expecting to come in on the 3-2s. It will be probably... we can't exit in Kilo 5, Kilo 4. And then just go over to the terminal. If we're not coming in this side, we go this side, we can go Terminal 1. Really doesn't matter. Just note, Kilo 5 seems to be... no entry, refer to airport briefing. Yeah. So Kilo 5 is important. All right. Depart out of France, go 18 Murph, it's a straight line down. Depart out of FRA. Let me see that now. Depart out of Frankfurt. Go on runway 18, straight line down. Yeah, well, we'll see what ATC give us. We'll see what ATC give us. Like if we go runway, yeah, agreed. If we're off on 18, it's straight. If we're off on the other one, 25, it's just a left turn. K5 is only no entry from taxiway, not runway. No entry from taxiway, not the runway. Okay, so we can use that as an exit Dougal. That's what you're telling us. Grand. Either way, like, because it will more than likely be our exit, but if not, sure, keep the speed up and horse off there with Kilo 4. We'll see what the crack is later on, do you know? But yeah, I'm relatively happy enough with this. Now, what we want to do, I want to start plugging in hardware all over the shop. So let's see what we're going to do. We'll come back here. We're going to end the flight, right? And let's see what happens. They'll give you what you want to file since they operate 1.8 plus another one. Ah, okay. So we can actually ask them, hey, give us 1.8 there. Yeah, I might do that, Clem. So I might do that. Right. So we need hardware and stuff. And this is brilliant, crack. Hang on. Balls, I'm after doing it again. Every time I knock the shagging thing over. Right, I need one of those. You need to go tight in there. We need one of these. Help you, devil. I get very excited when we get to put our flight sim kind of system up and running. You know what I mean? Move this guy over. I missed the way that makes noise now. That's the wrong button. I missed the way this all makes noise. So what we're going to do, we're going to start putting in all our flight sim stuff for the wind control gear. So that's what I'm doing right now. Right? Captain Sticky Rice, good to see you. I think I'll be departing out of 18 myself. Still wondering what plane to fly. Challenger, maybe? That got an update, actually, Clem. Did you see that? I got a new update. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting flying 777 probably would have been a good option for tonight. 74, yeah, 74. 777 or 74 would have been a good option for tonight. The wider body ones. I'm going with the A320 only because, well, I've all the gear for it. You know what I mean? So, we're just pushing buttons, I'm telling you. Right, so here's a little shelf I installed. Oh, lofty cargo. A340, Clem. Now, there's a machine for you to fly, right? Hey, Fraud is here. Good to see you, buddy. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. Right. That's as sturdy can get. Oh, Jesus. I went to break and that just... Where did that go? Found it. Right. So... Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Where did you come from? There. Okay. So here's our wind control gear. So we'll go ahead and install all this now, lads. There we go. But that was in 2020. I don't like the 7.4 into yeah. That's a bit kind of, isn't it? Why isn't that tightening? That's interesting. Can we tighten the gadget there, please, Murph? Hey, Heisenberg, good to see you. Welcome in, man. An Illusion 76. Is that on X-Plane as well? Mr. GPHI, bewitched now. Don't say it was the top of me head. Right, that's fairly secure. Next, I need one of these. Oh. Right. Oh, wait, balls, I'm missing a shelf. I need another shelf. Move the things, Murphy. Right, now, I'm not going to pinch that in here, am I? Right. Right. Oh. That sounded painful. Now, is this righty-tighty or lefty? D. Doing something right, lads. There is one that flies and looks good. Other than that, nothing special. Really? Who made that illusion? The IL-76. And what sim? Is it X? It must be X-Plane. Didn't Felis make one of those? What am I breaking now? I'm just putting my stuff together for tonight's flight. Right, that's tight there now. Now, throttle. Hello, throttle. It is I, Murph. We'll do this with that. Yes. And tie it. And that. There's our throttle system thingy-majig of gadget. And last but not least, remove before flight. Gibbo made me that in a deadly, isn't it? Very fancy. Right, this lives over there then. I'll put the wires down this way, look. Up. Right. This all looks terribly impressive, doesn't it? Now, in terms of wiring this, well, friends, let's see what happens. What kind of injury are we going to get? Ish. We have hardware being connected. Right now, we have another one. Check Discord more for a few pics. Pleasure. It's 2. Wished. And we've one more, lads. Did we land? We did, Naughty. Best landing you've ever seen in your entire life. Wished. Why isn't that sticking? Now, I'm assuming you have a powered USB hub under the desk. I do, Frankie. Surely do. Wait, where's that gone now? Didn't that used to stick? This used to stick under me. Oh, wait. No, it's not working. Ah, Jesus. That's why it's not working, Murphy, because you're a muppet. Right. That's now in. We take away this fella. We maneuver this setup. Right? I mean, the excitement. Right? And then we grab this bad boy. And we plug him in. Right? All right. This guy. This guy. This was all terribly fancy, wasn't it? And then, oh Jesus! And then I come back over here. Oh, paparazzi, good to see you. Did we do some more on-air flying? We did. We did a bit on Tuesday over an X-plane with the Cessna 152, and it worked very, very well. It's funny because it's every time you think it's fine, it's not fine. I had already started up the aircraft, and then I went to tracking. Sure, I lost points straight away. But yeah, no, we did a nice bit. We went out and we visited the previous few days. We went out and visited our FBO out in Alaska. Still there, but I need to do something with, like, the grass and the trees, you know. Right now, let us go and turn on this gadget, Simat Pro. Make sure she's all working. You're good. You're good. And you're good. No, I don't want any updates. Thanks. Now, go into this shagging thing because this upsets us terribly. The throttle. Single. That's okay. Right. Let's go ahead and fire up the sim. And we'll do a quick test of all our hardware. We'll double check all our connections over in the world of vPilot, right? So, a bit done, a lot more to do. Where's this now? Right, now let all this load off. What are you flying tonight? I'm going to the 320. We're going to go on the 320. But yeah, that is the mission for tonight. A320 Phoenix from Frankfurt over to Madrid. As I said, looking at the weather forecast and our flight plan, we should be all right. It's mainly the winds that'll be a slight issue, and of course, you know, we're flying towards a bit of a thunderstorm, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on. It's a long flight though. This is a properly long flight for our usual kind of Tuesday or Thursday night stuff. So It'll be interesting heading across. As I said, like once we get out over the Pyrenees, at our altitude, it's not going to bother us. It's only when we start our approach down into Madrid, that's when it'll start bothering us. Because like from 10 o'clock, there is a thunderstorm to the west, and it is moving east. You know, so be interesting to see what happens. It's definitely a storm moving up and across, so that should make it interesting. We could be lucky, we could get in just ahead of it. 8 o'clock, say 9 o'clock, it'll probably be 11:30 local, or as in Irish time when we finish, you know. Certainly Dev, good to see you. So yeah, we're looking good here. So what I'll do, we've already checked out Frankfurt. I'm going to load into Madrid now, and at least that'll do all the scenery cache stuff, and then we'll just make sure that all our hardware is working, and also vPilot client needs to be plugged in also. So let us have a look. vPilot is connecting to vPilot. That'll do. We'll do the same over here. ATC is going to be vPilot. And if anyone wants to fly the route with us tonight, you're more than welcome on VATSIM, or indeed with Say Intentions, whatever you think yourselves. But it's going to be a nice flight. It's a long flight, but it'll be nice. So I'm going to copy all this, copy that, and we'll be putting this into our Stream Elements route for tonight. And we'll do the same over here. Dougal's taking the 777-2. 777's a good shout. I mean, it'll definitely have the speed over the A320 for sure. But we're still very comfortable in the A320 range, though. Like very balls, very comfortable. Okay, that looks good to me. That looks good to me. We're just waiting for the sim to finish uploading. So remote connected, that's all connected. Excellent. If joining on VATSIM, join us in Discord voice, 100%. Make sure, 100%. You'll get a great insight to what way the lads are flying and how they do it and all that. It's class. Like, it's very, very good. So we're going to load into Madrid, test the hardware. I've been lucky with this so far, touch wood. Do you know, she hasn't broken much since. So we'll see what happens here now. But I'm very excited to jump back into that TriStar. I just know tonight, if I flew it on VATSIM tonight, I'm liable to, like, you know, I don't know the aircraft enough. Won't take long now, but yeah, I'd make a hames of it. It did respond well with heading mode, though. You know. Briggsy, yeah, correct. But with Say Intentions, it has traffic injection, so like it'll give you a great experience, you know. Okay, so A320, and let's load ourselves into Madrid. Easy now. Don't break sim. They're great gas. Right. Now, this is a handcrafted airport, if memory serves me, so we'll zoom in, have a look. Do. And for crying out loud, where's all the buildings? Isn't this handcrafted? There we go, Jesus. Right, gate medium. Go gate 14. They do load in slowly. You shouldn't fly RNAV on the L10. You'd need vectors if there is an RNAV required. You could do. I mean, you can use the GPS on board, you know. Right. Let's see what happens here, lads. Do. Okay, everything turned off. That's a good sign. Buttons are reacting. Okay. Up. Battery 1, 2, external power, ground control, CTR. Give it a second. Excellent. Check throttles. Excellent. Flight control. Excellent. MCDU. Excellent. MCP. Hot damn! Right, she's working out of the box. Great news. Right, let's go ahead and get ourselves connected. And let's have a look here at the VATSIM radar. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum. I heard the Phoenix is planning to come out with an A320neo. Yeah, they are, 100%. Yeah, huge airports in iTugal, yeah. Connect VATSIM. Authentic VATSIM. Yes. Sign in. Hello. Right, let's give all this a moment. I can hear other aircraft, which is a good sign. There we go. Get our controller back. Right, what's here at the airfield? At the airfield? At the airport. Oh, there's someone. Iberia. Okay, so being an Asobo scenery, it should be fairly well optimized here. There's no mad drops or dumps or bumps or whatever else in the runways of that. That's pretty cool. Nice. Floating jetways. Not nice. Oh no, there they go. They reconnected. Okie doke. The same crack down here. Interesting. Is that right? It's almost as if there's two sceneries there. Oh, we should be okay. Or if they've switched to 18s in Madrid as we speak for arrivals. I was thinking that because the wind has changed. It's coming from the south. Alright. So we're saying landing now runway 18 in Madrid. How might that look? Runway 18. Balls, is it 18 left? Which one, Clem? It should be runway left. Real cold. That's potentially going to change the whole thing. Both. Right, okay. Let us cancel. Unload. And let's go back into sim brief here for the moment. What am I looking for? This. Right, let's edit this puppy. So we're gonna say we're gonna blast off now from runway 18 out of Frankfurt, and we'll go 18. That looks good to me. I do it near the time. Could change again. Yeah. We'll have a look. Okay, so that's a new one gone in. Let's have a quick check back on Navigraph. Import from SimBrief. There's a new one. Okay, any changes here? No. Departure now is a cleaner straight out. Very similar. Grand. Our arrival, Star, Tersa, or Banav. It's Tersa. Okay, so from Tersa we come in Nikov and then over this way. It says 18 left does not use. Be alright. Let's look for now ILS approach. And where we're coming in from? Luller? Why not? Okie dokie. Let's have a look at the ILS. Luller. And then in. Missed approach, very straightforward. Out over climbing runway heading 6 miles, continue on radial 173, 22 miles at 5,000, then a right turn and hold at row fix. Okay, fairly straightforward. Okay, right, I've no worry there. It'll be either or, one or the other, right? Scenery is working well. We are connected to VATSIM. I've no there's no one on, so we've no frequencies. There's no other aircraft here than what you can see. There was one guy, but he may not be on network, or he may not be on voice. That guy over there. So, we know it is working though, and we know our scenery is working. We know our hardware is working. The aircraft is working. So yeah, successful testage. So lads, we are kicking this one off at 1900 Zulu today. In what's that? About 5.5 hours time. And we'll probably fire up the stream a little bit earlier just to get moving, because it's a longish flight. So as I said, if you'd like to join us for it, absolutely join us. And yeah, it'll be it's a block time of just over 2 hours. Our cruise profile for this one is 5, and it's giving us an initial flight level 270. I suspect that'll get higher. Let's look at our overall climb here. So we are saying 27. Yeah, we're up as high as 370. So our final altitude is 370. So we do have a step climb in this. 27, 289, and then up we go. So 370 looks to be our longest one, you know. Check the first page for the step climbs. It's the equal longest Thursday flight of 2026. Yeah, 100%. Let's have a look here. That's okay. The route. That's all okay. Speed change, flight level change. That's okay. Above planned fuel. Flight steps, EDDF 0270, Herby 0370. Yeah. Oh, good man. So yeah, flight level steps. So Herbie is up at 370. So where's Herbie? There's Herbie. So once we get to Herbie, we start climbing. All right. So at Herbie, we start climbing. Herbie. Could I not add a note to that? No? You used to be able to add a... Alright, okay. Right, well that's where our step climb is, and that's from 27 up to 37. So, yeah. You're a Herbie. So's your face. Cool. Okay. Right, lads, that's the planation for tonight. We have briefed our flight. We have an idea what the weather is doing. The aircraft is working. The scenery is working. Our hardware is working. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. So we're back at 1900 Zulu. I want to thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in and keeping us company. We were learning the TriStar. A lot more to come on that, especially when it comes to the systems and navigation options. But as a kind of a first start introduction, yeah, we covered a fair bit of ground there today. So right, I'm away there now, and we'll be back in a couple of hours. So thank you all so very much for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you very soon. Good luck to you. To turn, and we'll start advancing that mixture back in here now shortly. Come on, prop.
Sink rate.
You're all right.
Sink rate.
Yeah.
Up. Sink rate.
Give us a bit of air in the nose there. Nearly. Come on, Betsy, you can do it. We need the wind. Oh, bother. We need more speed. This isn't dangerous at all. 110, 120. Mixture in.
Hold off.
The mixture's in. Come on.
Hold off. Hold off.
She doesn't want to play. She nearly got there. Hang on now. Easy. There she goes. Jesus. If it didn't kick off, lads, I would have died immediately. Do you know? Ah, don't hit me with a frying pan! Oh, jeez! This is here! You just hit me with a frying pan!
She didn't make a noise.
Of course I made a noise! You hit me with a frying pan in my head!
Turn around.
Why would you hit me with a frying pan? Don't hit me again! Ah! Yes, it makes a noise! You're hitting me with a frying pan! Annalisa, did you put her up to that? Jesus, me head! Oh, who hit someone? I mean, come on! Who hit someone with a frying pan, for God's sake? Oh no, oh God, oh dear! It's like a friggin' Olympic somersault! What was that, Dwayne? Brilliant! Wait! No Pox M is in the SG 30 something